that looks like a lot of half cover and full cover walls. So that must be the weapon. Well, we'll do a proper save here. This is before the final fight, potentially. Unless there's more to the game after this.
Keep your wits about you.
Let's go. Oh, there's a lot of dead people. Oh. That's us. That's a lot of us. And an Abelard. Not an Abelard, an Argenta. Argenta, us. 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 I think I saw Heinrichs in there. Reality bubbles before you and bursts with an agonizing shriek. A few silhouettes now stand in your way. 3 of them seem to have your face, and yet the differences are striking. Each one has been marked by accomplishments and different experiences, making you feel like the protagonist of a tale about a pair of twins separated at birth. Righteous reflection. Emperor, bestow strength upon me to smite yet another obstacle as I carry out your will. My master, changer of ways, is this of your making? No, I can feel it is not. You are not playing tricks on me. You are sending me prey for a great sacrifice. That's Idira. That's Idira and that's Argenta. I understand. Glorious reflection has a dead person next to them. Is there some ironic lesson in what is going on? Should I be looking in the mirror a little less, or perhaps try to look at myself from the outside? Or is this a hint that I am my own worst enemy? I shall ponder this in my memoir. Look at where my doppelgangers came from. The blatant abuse of the fabric of existence is causing the motes of reality to flare up. You see mirages of the Koronus Expanse in their glow, altered past recognition by the decisions you have made, or could have made in some other world. Who are you? Your replica smiles in understanding. I am Malachi von Valancius the Magnificent, and I know myself, and if I know myself, which I most certainly do, you are now pondering what makes you. The answer is simple. You are my reflection from a less glorious reality, the product of the malign influence of the treasure that I seek. The doppelganger makes a sign of the Aquila and utters, I'm a blazing paragon of humanity, unbroken by tribulations, the first to venture into the darkness without fear, and the one who unites and brings back which was fortified. I am a rogue trader of the God Emperor. The last doppelganger smiles coyly. Speaking of me, I am the only version of ourselves who chose the path to true power. I serve the Master, the changer of ways, and I already chanced upon my reflections in his dreams, which is why I'm the only one without a dumbstruck expression on my face. So you are me. Truth stems from the Emperor. You are lacking it, which means you are not the true von Valancius, but a flawed replica born out of a flawed reality. So one of my versions chose to serve the archenemy. I do not serve, I reign. You grovel, but I dominate and rise up even higher. You notice that your replica is sporting elaborate makeup. Under a layer of powder, the doppelganger's face looks strange, its skin covered in wrinkles. Somehow they remind you of closed eyelids. Idira opens her mouth and you see the blackness between her teeth in place of her tongue. 100 otherworldly warped voices speak instead of her voice. The Master requires a sacrifice. A living sacrifice. Toss them to the warp. Their paths will be unraveled and woven into yours. Why did you come to Epitaph? My master, the changer of ways, directed me here and revealed my destiny. This is where I will cut short the life of the corpse, Emperor's champion, and claim the great trophy. This is where I am fated to become one with the warp. This is interesting, seeing the results of different routes. It's an odd ending, but I kind of like it. To a level. Okay. I wonder at what point your soul was tainted by heresy. It happened on the day Kunrad Voigtveer wounded me with the cursed blade. From then on, I started hearing voices. Fortunately, my companion Adira taught me how to avoid going insane. I began to listen to and heed their wisdom, revealed secrets to me and whispered the dark rituals. I raided the Von Valancius crypt, made a dark offering of Theodora's skull and enslaved her spirit. I learned all of her dirty secrets, all of her lies. Enslaved her spirit? I'm guessing that means you can talk to her, well, talk. I don't know. You can interrogate her corpse? That's interesting that she'd have a major part in that route via that, and that's how you get your information. I saw the full picture and realized that only the strongest survive in the Expanse, and any strength is good enough to survive. In short, you've gone from being a rogue trader to being a piece of Kraken shit. This is very interesting, but shut up. Wolfar shifts his gaze to you. I have just realized I have not given your spiritual fortitude the credit it deserves, Atvatar. Have you achieved much on your profane path? Oh, I have. My empire is no paltry protectorate. It stretches across Winterskill's domain and the worlds of Chorda. My brother Kunrad as regent, together we rule many planets. I deceived Urlon the Fool and banished him from the Expanse after subverting his cult. I taught the brazen Drukhari a lesson by sending their Urselio navigators into Komarag to cause the most powerful disjunction in history. On Quetzaltemur I struck down the furious Caligos, a rival for the favor of the Dark Gods, and used his blood to make a pact with the Edge of Daybreak. My illustrious teacher. Emperor, why do you so rarely send me heretics who are this eager to confess? My job would be so much easier. Words are no longer necessary. Indeed, I see a future without words, or you. I will address the arrogant copy. You seem to think you're better than the rest of us, don't you? And yet, I was the only one clever enough to become the master of my own fate, not be reduced to someone else's plaything or a slave of dogma. Why do you seek to enter the crypt? I came to claim the treasure, whatever it is. Theodora found it, which makes it mine. Save our regret trying to steal my dynasty. The doppelganger smirks. Your doppelganger slightly accelerated speech, jerky movements, and a sweet tinkle in his eyes suggest his blood is teeming with euphoric stimulants. I become very principled and vengeful when my treasure hoard is concerned. Wonder how you acquired such an ego. The lack of pointless advice, I presume. On the day Kunrad killed Theodora, all of her officers died with her, including Mor, Abelard, Adira, Ravar, Vigdis. When I came into my inheritance, there was no one to teach me how to be a rogue trader. I handled everything myself and found out who Theodora von Valancius really was. A narcissistic, unscrupulous, self-serving bitch who lied to everyone. I admit I regretted not getting the chance to know her better. I embraced her principles and realized that literally everyone in the Koronus Expanse was out to take advantage of me. The Drusians and the Pirates and the Adeptus Mechanicus and the Casbalika, Calcazar and Urlon. And so the puppet pulled at the strings and made its masters dance, and I dare say things turned out well for me. I would ask your lordship to watch your language as you speak of her ladyship Theodora. I do not know how it is in your reality, but in ours it is customary to mind one's manners. Shut up, servant. In our reality, it's customary for lackeys not to interfere in the affairs of their betters. I have to admit, this version of you is not without a certain charm. The kind where I don't know if I want to throw myself at you or empty a full clip right into your face. My sweet smuggler, you're also in my world, you know. I gave you a little planet with a pretty palace and a tiny garden after you took offense at a couple of innocent jokes about your humble origins. Throw myself or empty a full clip into your face, it's a tough one. Have you achieved much without loyal allies? Indeed I have. I'm the most influential figure in the entire Expanse. Caligos was slain by the Xenos and his successor. Yvain became my puppet. Incendia chases pirates, not realizing it is me who is raiding her colonies. I was able to make a pact with the Cabal of the Reaving Tempest against Calcazar, forcing him to flee. Undertook a dozen expeditions into the unknown, moved the dynasty capital to Footfall, named Vladame my governor, and made Hieronymus a cardinal. Not too bad for a novice, wouldn't you say? Huh. Is this a route you can take? I have to assume that this is effective from what it sounds like. It said everybody died at the start. How does that even happen? Huh. That's interesting. Okay, anyway. I'll look into this later, but that's intriguing that this is in theory a route you can do. I knew about the other two, you know, heretical and dogmatic. I guess this is, you're not iconoclast, you're not dogmatic, you're not heretical. This is the neutral path, effectively. It's the, I didn't do anything. I feel sorry for you. I had to shoulder the burden of power all on your own. Rubbish! The burden of power is just a fiction invented by the powerful to shield themselves against envy. I did fine on my own and prove that I need no one else. Do you hear me? No one. Emperor, what an insufferable, smug, arrogant, and childishly insolent creature. How can a single rogue trader embody everything that they are loathed for? I love that my party is just like, how did we get the only sane one here? Anyway, I'll address the pious copy. Your faith seems to be stronger than all of us combined. I remember in whose name the sacred warrant was granted. Remember by whose hand I am ordained to exist. I believe, and my faith is a bright light driving back the darkness, but your faith is cold embers. When I look at you, I feel ashamed of myself. Did you come here to help Calcazar? The future is not known to me. The Lord Inquisitor did not give me the full details of Operation Precious Sentinel, but he mentioned its importance to the entire Imperium. I've come here to lend him my aid, or stop him if his plans go against the will of the God Emperor. Interesting. So in this one, you get a little bit more from Calcazar because you are actually dogmatic. Your doppelganger vigorously chops the air of his hand, a grimace of stern determination twisting his face. We failed an awareness test? Wow. Okay. Where did such piety come from? It filled me on the day that Sister Argenta and I executed Theodora for heresy. I saw all her wickedness and depravity and felt unclean stained by her blood. I swore to redeem the name of the dynasty. Okay, so I don't think that this can happen unless I'm crazy. In which case, what this might be is this might be close to other routes, but not necessarily other routes that you could go through the game in. Okay, unless I'm wrong, unless you could do that, but I'm not sure. Anyway, continue. The Lord Inquisitor from your reality must be pleased with you. By the Exalted One, my fiery-hearted Shireen, our friendship would not have blossomed under the light of every star, it seems. The copy casts a contemptuous glance at Jai. You, the abject groveling creature who chose to sell out to the arch-enemy instead of atoning for her transgressions under my guidance. Your rotten soul was reborn in cleansing fire. That's what I'm talking about. How many feats of faith have you accomplished? Not yet enough. I struck down Caligos Winterscale, a champion of Khorne, in the ruins of Dargonis. Ruins of Dargonis. Interesting. I joined forces with the benevolent Incendia Chorda to purge the cult of the Final Dawn when they incited rebellion and used Footfall to summon a greater demon named the Edge of Daybreak. If this is how the other routes play out, that is intriguing, right? Because ours took us to Euphrates too. In this one, they were implying that the Edge of Daybreak fight still happens on the Footfall. Now, I don't know if that's actually how the other routes play out, or whether these are just different, like these are just meant to represent those other routes. But that's intriguing if that's the way it plays out, because that would make some of the things that we did, it makes sense why there were some bits that felt like they could have had more in them, because maybe on a different route they did. Anyway, backing off. The unclean spirit is now sealed within the station that I have proclaimed forsaken forever. Ulfar shifts an approving glance from your double to you, then mutters quietly into his beard. Albie, is your avatar still? Changing sides would be. No! After the purging of Janus, the Xenos of Crudarak and the Cabal of the Raving Tempest forged a profane alliance against my protectorate. With the noble space wolves, I defeated their combined forces and banished them from the Expanse. Ulfar rumbles heartily. Ah, that must have been a glorious hunt. But maybe it will come to pass in our world too. Okay, so that sounds like potentially that doesn't link up in the same way, because I don't think you can get Ulfar in any way other than Crudarak unless I'm wrong. In which case that would then mean that the Space Wolves thing probably wouldn't happen in the same way. So yeah, I think these are representations rather than exacts, but anyway. So strong faith commands respect. We've always been that kind of way, haven't we? We've been like, you know, faith is acceptable. Not necessarily, you know, we're maybe not the most pious, but we're not, we don't shun the Emperor. If you had to ask if we a follower of the Emperor's dogma, we would say yes, right? We're not like blinded by it, but we are a follower. So strong faith commands respect. I am ready to acknowledge your repentance and dispense justice. The situation has just become complicated. How are we going to resolve it? We shall fight. I sense your soul's greedy interest in what is hidden in this crypt, and I will not allow you to take possession of this blasphemous thing. But I see we are outnumbered compared to you, Doppelganger. I think it would be wise to join forces, topple you first, and then resolve the conflict between those who have survived. I concur. We'll finish off the one with the biggest retinue first, and then decide who is worthy of the prize. However, I already know who it's going to be. I'm giving you a chance to settle this affair peacefully and avoid self-destruction, in every sense of the word. A great deed is not accomplished by peacemaking. It is accomplished by spilling blood with a righteous hand.
You will beg for mercy, but I will grant
Argenta
none.
the Scourge.
With fire and vigor, our Emperor imbue us.
Wow, she's got so much going on. Wait, do they also have the abilities of the other route? They do. Okay. So you should have no abilities, right? Yeah, you see, he has a little ability from everything. So he has a little start of all of these, I think. Okay. The Cursed Reflection. You have the end one from here. That is very cool. All weapons on the battlefield become warp imbued. Okay, and then we have Adira, the Psyker. She's a pyromancer. She has to die immediately. They just buffed pyromancy. Okay. Ulfar? Well, what order do Adira goes first? No. Ulfar, that's your job. Abelard? You can take out that guy. Pascal? You're blocking this side, I think. Wait, she's got a flamer, and we just gave him anti-flame tech. I'm a genius. Alright, Jai, you're gonna be here with us. Okay. Oh, and Heinrichs? That's a good question where you're gonna be. I guess you're gonna be here. Start the battle. We need to start from here. Rear.
Let's make some opportunities.
Move up. Actually, front line.
I'll make it happen.
There we go. Also, we want to use our other weapon here. Back line is here. Okay, stacks onto Argenta.
I won't compromise.
I can't
my
see
principles.
Argenta. Stacks onto
I refuse.
the Glorious Reflection. We will then eat those stacks immediately.
I'll see to it personally.
We're then going to make this our trench line area.
On it.
That's fine. Joint analysis to increase our allies' damage. Perfect
I'll see
spot.
to it personally.
Surefire plan. Shoot him.
It's as good as done. You should have thought
patience
twice
has
before
failed
Nice.
closing me.
What's that 28 there? Degraded defense. Oh, right. Yeah. That's cool. Now we're going to give Jai a turn. Jai is now going to give
I
Ulfar a
hold
turn.
all the cards.
Ulfar is then going to charge at Adira.
None can do better than a warrior of the All-Father!
Okay. We're going to start with Reckless
See
Rush.
how the wolf succeeds!
And then we're gonna hit you.
Why did I not foresee this?
Then we're gonna hit you. Then we're gonna hit you. Then we're gonna hit you.
The whispers
Then we're gonna kick you.
call to me.
Right. Now we're gonna do one of these. Okay. And now we get another attack for free. Okay. Cautious approach, just to give us temporary wounds at the start of the next turn. And end turn. She had to die. But by doing that extra attack, or by killing her, and then doing the heroic act, we've now given Jai another turn. Jai is going to use the next turn to buff Pascal, because he's in danger. We're then going to use Inquisitor's Decree, which will give everyone temporary wounds. We're then going to give Pascal more actions on his turn. Then going to use Fervor to give us more stacks. Followed by Press the Advantage. Followed by taking a shot. Nice. I could do this. This might hit, and it won't hit us. Nice, and each time it hits, we should be getting a buff now, right? Extermination, yeah. So now we're getting an extra plus 1 damage for each hit. Now it's our turn. Now we end our turn. Okay, we hurt him.
My strike is ruin.
He ran away. Okay. I love him just stacking buffs and doing nothing with it.
The enemies of
Well,
the
what was
Emperor
that?
will be undone.
Just run away, stack a million buffs, and do nothing.
Cease and repent.
Okay. Okay. You also use Warhammer when you're not next to the enemy? That's what I do.
Shields me.
Oh, she wasn't a yeah, she wasn't a whatever we are. She's what Jai is. Jai and Cassia. Okay, for the self buffs, I see. I love them just using reckless strike in the corner. They don't know what they're doing.
I've suffered worse.
God. Okay. Well,
Naturally.
they just truly do not know what they're doing. That's fine.
But of course, Lord Captain.
Buff. Buff. Hit them with
I
a
won't
little
object to it.
weakness. Did that work? No, I guess I didn't hit them for somehow.
For the
Pascal
throne's
buff.
glory.
Okay. Let's give
I
Abelard
won't
some extra
object to
movement
it.
speed. Just to go catching them. And some temporary wounds. Okay, anything else for us to do here? Not immediately, so I guess I will charge at you. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'll make an opening. And I'll charge at you.
Naturally.
Better crippled in body than corrupt in mind.
Then hit him
Let's
again.
see to it.
Then hit him again. We're not going to hit with any of these, but... Oh, there we go. We got one.
But of course,
Then some extra
Lord
endure.
Captain.
Wonderful. Ow.
May the divine's will
You
be
have
done.
hurt us. That's not good. You made us pray. Yeah, you need to die. Run and gun? No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Oh, that's fine.
Bite like a bomb.
Buff Abelard. Followed by giving Abelard more resolve.
Don't get too cocky.
Followed by giving Pascal more damage. Okay. We're then going to give Abelard the turn, I
I
think.
can do that with the right incentive.
Okay. Move around. Charge.
Tried and tested tactics are the best ones.
Let's get closer.
At your
buff.
beck and call.
And then
Indeed.
buff. Cool. Okay, nothing's within range to set a target. Might as well just hurt yourself to give yourself extra stats.
Is that
And end your turn.
blood?
Right, Abelard. Set as your sworn enemy. What's as far away as I can go? Here. Or can I go one more? Yeah, no, so it's here. Okay, that's going to do most damage. Then we're going to... So move here.
Follow my lead.
Reckless
That's your
strike.
back and call.
Okay, you've already got sworn enemy on you.
It will be done.
Let's give us a little bit more that. A little bit more
At your back
here.
and call.
Right, then charge.
Victory is imminent.
The dodge is crazy. Okay. Nice, good damage. I think we've also disarmed him. Okay, now provocation.
It will be done.
Causes him to attack us.
Just a minor
Wait, you
setback.
managed to knock me down. Oh no. I didn't even know you could do that. Alright.
Our foes
Attack.
reek of cowardice.
Ulfar! Ulfar, come back. Ulfar! Ulfar! Ulfar, you appear to have broken the encounter. Where did you go? Who's in this now? Cursed Reflection, Argenta... Did it reset things? No. It just did something weird. There's just a thing down at the bottom. Okay, I don't really know what's happening here.
Is on the hunt.
I think we broke it slightly. I hope that I don't have to redo things. Run and gun. I think he was trying to get to the other side of it to hit it, but that doesn't make any sense at all. But I think that was what he was trying to do.
None can do this better than a warrior of the Allfather.
Okay, we're still not in range, but that's okay. More shots. Shoot him.
Through pain and hardship, we prove our devotion.
Okay. Do it again.
Cubs play.
Pain of this mortal flesh
Okay.
means nothing.
Shoot him.
So it shall be.
Still can't kick him. Alright. End turn.
I don't like that.
Pascal's first turn. Yeah, you need to be dead. I'm sorry, mate. You need to be very dead. I'm also gonna then do this. Suppose weakness. So now our chance of hitting is 100.
The scriptural prognosis is favorable.
Then extra analyze enemy, then hit.
Binaric override.
My enemies shall be crushed like dust beneath
Sorry,
my
we had a
feet.
100% chance of hitting. Now, you know, occasionally I don't add things up correctly, but I believe 100% means that we auto-hit.
Through pain
There we go.
and hardship, we prove our devotion.
Make this a weakness side. Oh, I can't hit it with that again? Oh. I thought I had enough, but I didn't have quite enough. Dash through it.
Vow is to serve.
Okay. Our turn. Yeah. Can I see this one? Can. Okay. So let's put stacks on you. Then we're going to
Who, if not me?
lower your stats. I'm kind of thinking I'm going to shoot, but before I do, I'm going to use
I'll make
Surefire
it happen.
Plan. And I'm going to hit you with one of these.
You should feel honored to witness this.
Nice. That's going to lower your stats even further. Then I can
I'll
shoot.
see to it personally.
Better crippled in body than corrupt in mind.
Okay.
I'll make it happen.
So, first buff. And then maybe we'll use our medikit. Yeah, our Iconoclast medikit.
I won't forget this.
Right. That seems good. And then I'm
Who,
going to
if
use
not
Surefire
me?
Plan. I'm going to take one step to the... Oh, I can't move. Okay. I was going to take a step to the side, but I forgot I can't move. Should have done that first. Don't make me your sworn enemy. You can't reach me. Nice parry, mate.
I have become the All-Father's worthy instrument!
Let my enemies tremble at the sound of my steps.
I love him just attacking Ulfar with slashes and things and nothing happening. It's so good. Argenta the Scourge.
Vengeance will be swift.
Okay. Continuing to attack. Okay. Concentrated fire. Controlled shot. Fervor. Yeah, but you... That's obviously not going to work. Okay, sworn enemy. I hate that. Endure. That's fine. Also hate that you're the build I wanted to go, like a melee weapon plus like a ranged weapon. Okay.
My armor is contempt.
Okay, one
For
of those.
the throne's glory.
One
Let's
of
see to
those.
it.
Hammer of the
Naturally.
Emperor. Invigorate. Give him
I
more
won't object to it.
stats. I might already have given him stats. Now I just realized. Give him
For
more
the throne's
stats.
glory.
Get over here. And yeah, get over here.
I'll put my psychic abilities to use.
Yeah. You'll put your psychic abilities to use, definitely. While you're at it, hey, there's only 2% chance of hitting. I'm not even gonna bother. Okay.
Pain is temporary.
Ow.
Legacy is forever.
Jai, this is a good time to give
Am
Pascal
I getting
another
paid
turn.
for this?
Okay. So, step there. Make this
As
your
the tactical
opening.
imperative dictates.
Hit him.
Running binary override.
You're very annoying.
The Omnissiah knows all, comprehends all.
I should use the Death Whisper as my first
Running
attack, because it
binary
seems like he
override.
dodges the first attack of every turn.
Still fight.
Oh, you know what? I think that's what did damage. The Death Whisper did damage. Okay. Buff Malachi, just to keep him up and running. Give... Well, I don't know. Give Malachi some extra stats. Get over here. Or actually, I can see you from where I am, right? Not really. How about here? I still don't have a great chance of hitting. Right here. How about here? Nope. Okay, so I only have 27% chance of hitting anyway. So, hurt yourself.
I can do that with the right incentive.
Followed by Inspire on
Tell
yourself.
me, and it is done.
Press the
You've
advantage.
got a problem, I've got a price.
Can I use this?
Am
Yeah.
I getting paid for
Okay.
this?
Pain of this mortal
Nice.
flesh means
Now shoot.
nothing.
I shoot him.
I can do that with the right incentive. Never cross a Kazbalikan.
Nice. Do it again.
Don't get too cocky. Jai Hidari. Remember,
Do it again.
We prove our devotion.
Okay, do it again.
you've got a problem. I've got a
We are
price.
lowering his stats each time we do
Remember
it.
that one.
Will endure.
Shoot him.
Don't get too cocky. Jai Hidari. Remember the name.
Okay. Abelard spends his turn standing up. First reflection, I'm gonna kick you.
None can do this
That made
better
me
than
feel
a
better.
warrior of the All-Father!
Right. Hit him.
See how the wolf succeeds!
Slash.
Pain is temporary. Legacy is forever.
Wildfire.
Ah!
Turn off cautious approach. I don't know if that's off or on, but yeah. Hit him. I think that was off because now he can hit things. Alright.
By the wolf's side!
I didn't get any extra attacks there. I feel like I was cheated. Okay,
Don't
well,
dishonor the wolf with such tasks!
that's fine. Pascal? Hit him.
My vow is to serve. Vital functions successfully
Right.
terminated.
killed you. Argenta. You're next.
Running binaric override.
Hit him.
The scriptural prognosis is faithful.
From the ashes, I will rise.
Okay, if you say so. Shoot him.
Running binaric override. Insignificant value.
Right. Let's put stacks on
It's
you.
as good as done. I won't stand
Remove
for
all
it.
those stacks. Shoot
I'll
him.
make it happen. Another enemy down.
Nice. First reflection is also dead.
Runes out of your bones.
We have killed them. Alright, well we got a level up. That was unexpected. I will take a level up. I also want to just briefly check something while we're here. Nothing important to you, but just checking that we had space for the recording, which we do. Right. Then, additional AP. And additional AP. And additional AP. Ah, lovely. Nice, easy level up. Perfect. Right. Quick save. Did we get loot? Oh my god, they all dropped loot. Wait, loot from the other routes? Well, let's do a full save just while we're here, just to make one. I'm just going to quickly stop and restart the recording. Right. Glorious Reflection. Anti-vehicle revolver, the auto-striking power sword, and the panoply of the assassin. So we already had all of those. And we've rejected them. Idira. Staff of Shock and Awe. And then the body glove. Don't
I
need
always
those.
keep my options open.
Okay, there's stuff down there that we can see. That we've been down there and looked at briefly. Argenta's Imperial Pride and the Soritas Power Armor. Oh, okay. Which we didn't pick up. I assume that's what you get if you do her quest correctly. We've already sent this to the cargo, so I guess we already had it. Improved Heavy Bolter. We'll have another one. And the Cursed Reflection, what did you have? Eruption, the life-draining sword, and the Chaos Enforcer Carapace. Okay. There's more
Rise
loot
to
in the
the
corner.
top or get left in the dust.
Oh, right, this loot that's kind of just off to the side. Exodus Longlass. That's pretty good. If the wielder has at least Iconoclast Zealot, damage increased by 30% of current momentum. And it's got additional hit chance of 50, but also gains an extra 25. That's insane. It's actually nuts. Relic Silencer. Does not lose elusive effect if they attack from cover. Doesn't affect us, and then a Melta Charge. I guess you need a Melta Charge for the end area. It was like, let's just make sure you have one. Well, this is just better. I mean, quite frankly, this is insane. Because nearly everything we do raises
Always
momentum.
keep your eye on the prize.
Like, our build is momentum raising. And we just got something that makes that better. The Tech Blight has barely affected the bridge, but almost completely devastated the Xeno structures below. Okay, that implies that they can control what the Blight affects. Okay, grab the goods. What's this? Wearer gains number of unyielding beacon stacks, % chance to ignore any incoming damage. That would be for Abelard, and I would take it, except that he doesn't take any incoming damage. So, it's not really necessary.
I always have a backup plan.
What's over here? Memory core. Okay, and then some more goods. Incandescent storm. Every attack action with this plasma gun has a separate cooldown. And they can all be used in a single turn. That's insane. Each of the wearer's single attacks gains 10% damage for each negative effect on the target. Okay, cool. None of this is stuff I'm like, I have to equip it immediately. Also, look at this. A 95% Xeno lore? Our Xeno lore is insane. How are we going to get 95%?
I always get the job done.
One of the images stands out among the rest. This likely used to be a symbol of an ancient Xenos dynasty. Okay, so that's what they were talking about. Connect to the memory core.
The machine god grants me insight.
Eliminate. So someone was here instructing people to shoot the Necrons?
Let us not dawdle.
I gotta feel like that's sensible, right? Shooting them, you know, rather than leaving them alive. Okay. That must be, wait, it's not telling me, but that must be Calcazar. Okay. You would assume, based upon what we're seeing so far. Oh, right, yeah, we can just demolish that turret. Okay. Lower Xenos. Another check. Let's do it.
Just as I planned.
As soon as you touch the obelisk, ancient Xenos symbols appear in your mind, forming the words, open the pocket repository. Ooh. We got the Singer of Fearsome Sagas. Attacks by this axe deal additional damage equal to 5% of the target's maximum wounds. This bonus is applied to each enemy only once per round. After the wearer uses following, the wearer's allies gain a bonus to damage. We don't have that. Whenever the wearer uses a psychic power, they can trigger one of the following. Chance to reduce AP cost and veil degradation from the same psychic power as usual. Chance to increase veil degradation by 3 and reset the cooldown of their attack. Okay. Veil degradation is increased to 15 or beyond. This effect triggers Perils of the Warp even when using minor psychic powers. It's not for us. We don't use attack powers, so the attack reset is just a bad result. So it's got 50% bad results. Yeah, this is just better, huh? I mean, minus the warp damage kind of thing, but wait, can you... Is this a one-handed? Yeah. This is one-handed. Nice. Okay. That's cool. Well, we got his axe. Memory core?
Keep your wits about you.
Operation
This is why we brought Pascal.
successful.
So they were fighting the Necrons. And then... they weren't. Lord Inquisitor, we are progressing according to plan. Our troops have already reached the target. Okay. So they fought the Necrons on the way in here. Okay. This makes sense to me. And the Lord Inquisitor is here, but we knew those things had happened. Okay. I guess that's another one of these. It's for people who weren't paying attention. Okay.
I always keep my options open.
Demolish.
Easily done.
Boom. Okay. Oh, I guess you can shoot that instead. I understand. Okay. We grab the goods. Oh, we might as well demolish the one on the other side. Not that we need the XP for anything, but we might as well do it for completeness. Get it?
That was a problem for you.
Okay. It looks like you just took a little bit of damage.
Look no further.
I'm listening.
Why don't you heal him?
Initiating bioreformation protocol.
Ah,
Data
careful.
meditation.
I cannot be.
You are authorized.
Okay. Does this not remove... is this a fresh injury? Fresh injury. Large medikit removes one fresh injury. That's it. You look like you're next to him now. Do it.
Flesh is weak.
Nice. Okay.
Field medicine.
Do without
at
the
its
flesh is
finest.
weak message. But that's okay. How are we looking? We're looking fine. Let's go. Ooh, what's this? The destructive web of tech blight is spreading along the
Always
walls of the
keep your
crypt.
eye on the price.
Ah, okay. Let's do a little explore over to the edges here. Nothing new. Okay. In which case, we're heading in here, which you gotta assume is the end of the road. Especially as it has a door. Which you gotta assume means that they want to put you in a loading screen before you do this. Or at the very least, you know, they want you to know that you're going to a new area. Okay. I'm assuming immediate loading screen. Let's see. Oh, it's just a peaceful area, actually. Like, nothing's happening. Oh, it's actually just a hub for your next ability, for your next 10 hours of gameplay. You just go out from this hub and do quests and you come back. That's what this is, right? Doesn't appear to be any loot. There's just Calcazar. Hello. I guess. It's not really that bothered that we're here. I just want to have a look around before we do anything. Whatever that is. There's nothing to click on. Okay, they're just studying the technology. Okay. Well, this seems like a good save opportunity. Can we speak to him? Hello? I see that you did not heed my warnings, Malachi. Your decision to come here in spite of them may have consequences, but we still have a chance to turn it to everyone's advantage if your lordship listens to me very carefully. With all due respect to you, Lord Inquisitor, I shall ask that you refrain from any further threats directed towards the blessed rogue trader, lest you face repercussions from me. How courteous of you to warn me, Master Versarian. I will remember your words. Master Van Calox, I am pleased to see you. How was your journey? Illuminating, Lord Inquisitor. Heinrich's tone would have frozen anyone else solid, but not Calcazar. What are you doing here? Exactly what my duty dictates. Saving the Imperium. Isn't it obvious? Is that what you're here for? What is it? We call it a shard. And yes, as you have noted quite aptly, it is the reason I am here. This construct contains an ancient, or rather a pre-ancient being of cosmic power. They were called the Catan. The entity is currently trying to escape, and I am here to collar it. Calcazar nods at the giant device, whose design clearly points to it having been brought into the crypt from outside. Of course the Inquisition wants to collar it. How typical. Jai's honeyed speech dissolves into soldierly crudeness. Thrown damn it, even I can see no good can come of this rock shit crazy plan. What is this Catan shard? What is it doing here? A specimen of an ancient predator race, devourers of pulsars who feasted on star systems. Reality itself bent to their power, but many millennia ago an ancient Xenos race managed to defeat them, shatter them into pieces and lock them away in prisons like the one you see before you. I didn't know that. Okay, so that, I think this is Necron lore I'm unaware of. Necrons I have know very little about, which adds to their mystery and to my cautiousness around them. But interesting, that puts some things into place. If they're saying the Necrons are the ones who defeated them and shattered them into pieces and then, you know, left themselves as guardians. And you think you stand a chance against such power? Do you mean to say that a human is not capable of such a feat? Well, I am not just a human. I am an instrument of the Emperor's will, one of many, and the Imperium is omnipotent. If I were to fail, another would follow in my footsteps. That is how humanity makes the impossible possible. With the hands of particular people in particular circumstances, your skepticism is unwarranted. How will taming this creature help save the Imperium? Over my years of service, I've come to realize that The main problem with that humanity faces in this war is the imbalance of power. Our opponents are not races or nations, but incomprehensible monsters. It is high time we acquired one of our own. My yoke will bind this creature, make it a chained guard serving the Emperor. That is not the full extent of my vision. There are other shards similar to this one, scattered across the galaxy. I plan on seeking them out and confining them all inside the yoke. Each conquered monstrosity will bolster our defenses. Okay. I still have many questions for you. Given the circumstances of our meeting, I do not see why I should hide anything. I seriously doubt you will share this information with anyone else. For one reason or another. How did this thing how did this thing end up in your possession? Thanks to your predecessor, I arrived in the Expanse at the call of the explorative fleet to deal with Archmagos Amernat's heresy, and I quickly came to the realization that the Koronus Expanse's problems ran much deeper than tech heresy. Unprecedented piracy running wild, blatant smuggling of Xeno artifacts, willful and impetuous rogue traders, and the growing threat of the ruinous powers. All this in a region that the Drukhari consider their domain. Frankly, I would consider purging the entire Expanse. It would have been much easier to burn down this whole tangle of threats and corruption. But the web of spies that I had woven presented me with much more interesting and radical solutions. While investigating Amernat's connections, I turned my eye to Theodora von Valancius, who ultimately gave me the shard. Or was Theodora involved in all this? Theodora's instincts were uncanny. She spent decades hunting for a key that could open the dimensional gate, as if she knew there was something incredible waiting for her on the other side. Her ladyship was lucky enough to discover the shard among one of her expeditions, a trophy that was too much for her to handle. Archmagos Amernat studied it on Theodora's behalf, creating weapons in exchange for access to the dangerous relic. But their research was too primitive and unambitious compared to the true power contained within the shard. I had one of my own acolytes, Tanakia, send her spies to Theodora. They infiltrated the rogue trader's retinue, earned their trust, and reported to me about this magnificent object. The rest was trivial. I seized Epitaph and laid down the coordinates of our further laid down the conditions of our further coexistence. She was wise enough to concede defeat with dignity. I commenced Operation Precious Sentinel. I left a garrison on Epitaph, took the key to the dimensional gate from Theodora, sealed the gate, and started creation of the yoke. I kept Theodora and her heirs in my sights just in case. Not long before her death, I assigned Heinrichs to her and ordered her to rendezvous with him on Rykad Minoris. But your lordship inherited him instead. I admit I wasn't aware of you. Theodora managed to keep her secret heir up her sleeve. Heinrichs' lip curls. It is unfortunate that I was not privy to all the details of this plan. Gritting his teeth, Abelard says quietly, in the old days, House von Valancius would have declared war over something like this, and fought until the offender was dead. What is the yoke? A containment device similar to this one, except better. The yoke was devised by the brightest minds of two races using the ancient wisdom of a long-gone Xeno civilization. A prison capable of not only holding the Catan shard, but also of controlling it while releasing fractions of its being. An instrument of obedience and destruction. A masterpiece whose creation required immense effort. It was made on Euphrates II. I captured Amernat's student, Axiomantha. Ah, wait a second. He doesn't know what Amernat is. Interesting, because he says Amernat's student, but no, Axiomantha was a fragment of Amernat. That's interesting. And she passed all of her mentor's drafts to me, and the one overseeing the process was none other than your acquaintance, the tech priest Cubus Delphum. His fall was regrettable. He was the one on Kiavagama. It seems that the unorthodox, daring things he did at my behest drove him to break his vows and sink into heresy. But the human mind could never have comprehended the shard alone. Thus I appealed to the inhuman mind. I struck a deal with the Drukhari. Theft of sacraments and the secrets of Adeptus Mechanicus registered. Inciting a devout tech priest to commit heresy registered. Blasphemous merging of sacred technologies with forbidden ones registered. Further transgression registration discontinued. The drill on Pascal's mechadendrite screeches in fury. I suppose Pascal is judgment, he does get to judge. You collaborated with the Drukhari? Alas, the operation demanded it. Through the agents of one of my acolytes, Emelina, I contacted Archon Erimerus and made a pact. I gave her access to the technologies contained within this relic and destroyed her rivals in the Cabal. She would relay the information on her raids to my spies and I would solve the problem. In exchange, her homunculus Tervantius forged the yoke for me. Of course, I did not let him near the shard itself, but rather set up a laboratory for him on Quetzaltemur. It was safer that way. All the pieces were contributing to my plan and none had the information to comprehend the entirety of it. Heinrich cringes at Calcazar's words. You disposed of Emelina like unwanted rubbish, like waste material. After all her years of faithful service to the Golden Throne. Unfortunately, I had to send Emelina away and remove her from the board. A shrewd woman of principle, I used to value those qualities of hers, but suddenly they started to get in the way of my plan. It would have been safer to eliminate her before she could figure out what was going on, but I must have grown miserly over the years, and was loath to part with a good agent, or perhaps I was simply being sentimental. Why did the Drukhari want the shard? It is one of the most complicated and perfect creations of a race much older than the Drukhari. It is no mere object, but a treasure trove of technology. A wise master could uncover many secrets simply by observing it. A sound strategy. Trust me, your lordship, the threat of the alien pales in comparison to that posed by the ruinous powers. Erimerus could plunder 1,000 worlds, but she is no Erlon the Cruel. She was as great a danger to her own kin as she was to the Imperium. The disruption she caused among the Drukhari was only to our benefit. She intended to trigger a powerful disjunction in Comarag, hereby destroying her rivals and elevating her own cabal in the process. Knowing full well how precarious her grand plan was, I made no attempts to talk her out of it. With a little luck, we wouldn't have needed to worry about Comarag's influence. It was a dark day when you dropped from under the tail of your rotten-wombed mother, you loathsome traitor. While we were fighting to eradicate the Xenos, you were busy carousing with them. Had I known sooner, I would have ripped your pitch-black heart right out of your chest. I readily believe that. Since we are being so candid, I must note that you proved to be a much less convenient tool than I had anticipated. This new information about a pack, combined with the astral observation data collected in this star system, resolves the inconsistencies identified earlier. Unit Xavier Calcazar stands accused of stealing the astrographic records of the Cognizant's fleet. I'm amazed by your analytical prowess. Yes, I needed stars to feed the shard. Oh. So he was the one getting the stars. Now it lines up. The Cabal of the Reaving Tempest could steal them and bring them here, but it was imperative to preserve the exact energy parameters so as to not trigger the object's premature detonation. I procured the necessary information on suitable stars from the Explorator Fleet's state data scriptorium. Registering a Category 1 blasphemy. Unit Xavier Calcazar is hereby sentenced to intravital dissection and study. Upon the cessation of vital functions, the unit's remains must be disposed of in disgrace. Pascal! Chill, we haven't finished the conversation yet. The denizens of the Rycat system, Santiel's Pride, and all the other starless worlds, You were the ones who sentenced them to death by sending the Drukhari after their sons? Well noted. Yes, I acted as their executioner, as regrettable as those losses were. However, to overestimate their importance to the Imperium would have been folly. Every single day, humanity pays a far more terrible price, and that must be brought to an end. He's trying to needs of the many over needs of the few to us here. And then I take it you decided to get rid of your Xenos allies. There was no more need for them, seeing as the yoke was almost complete and the situation was escalating out of control. Theodora was dead, the cult of the Final Dawn had reared its head and was preparing to strike, and Arimaris had forgotten her place. She was putting forward too many elimination requests, and when I told her to curb her appetite, she retaliated. The theft of the Rykad star was timed to occur when Master Van Kalox would be on the planet. The Archon wanted to rob me of one of my agents and send a message. So, just for context here, they decided to steal a star and destroy a planet to specifically kill Heinrichs. That was it. They decided that the best way to kill him would be to completely destroy the system that he was in, the star, the planet, the whole shebang. And that was how they were going to get rid of him. That's a lot of effort. What? Rykad's son banished because of me? I still fail to see the connection between the disappearing star and the cult of the Final Dawn. How could the Xenos catalyze the fulfillment of the arch-enemy's prophecy? And then, the Koronus Expanse was engulfed in flame. I had to rush the operation and declare sector-wide martial law. The webway gate that Rimmer's warriors had been using was destroyed, and the facility on Quetzaltemur razed. I evacuated half the yoke that Tervantius had completed, but it was too late to retrieve the second half from Euphrates II. Cubus Delphum revealed to Urlon the Cruel where he should strike, and that almost spelt the end of Operation Precious Sentinel. I appreciate your efforts in resolving this problem. In fact, you turned out to be much more useful than Theodora ever was. Okay, before we get too much more into this, from what he's told us so far, do we have a reason to fight him? I mean, from what he's told us so far, everything he did is effectively to get this weapon. This weapon is fully under his purview to get as the Lord Inquisitor. It is heretical, but to be fair, he's also the person who decides what's heretical. From our point of view, what has he done? I mean, it was the Xenos who tried to kill us at Rykad Menoris. He did set up Tervantius, but again, that's kind of the Xenos. A lot of it's the Drukhari. His decision to work with the Drukhari, not great. The Astartes coming here was a little odd, but we don't know what's happened with them yet. Theodora was killed by Argenta because she was working with him. So again, that doesn't... that's not really something there. Kunrad was just simply evil. Urlon was simply evil. It doesn't seem like Calcazar was involved with them. Kaligos lost his mind by himself. Incendia lost her mind by herself. So far, yeah. That's not a lot. Why did you call for the Astartes to come to your aid? I needed a remarkably strong force to keep my Xenos allies in check. The Emperor's Angels were just the weapon I was looking for, except... Considering the sensitive nature of my operation, I couldn't very well risk requesting aid from my allies in the Death Watch, could I? And then I remembered an old debt owed to me by a Space Wolves great company, so I decided to call in a favor. They were an asset at first. The Wolves helped me close the Dimensional Gate by overwhelming its security systems. I tasked them with hunting the Xenos condemned by Arimaris, but eventually they started prying, and that was unacceptable. I could control Thorvald by giving him more tempting targets, but the baleful Howl Pack. They raided an outpost where my agents had been meeting with the Drukhari. The pack took prisoners, but lost the esteemed brother Ulfar. I hoped they wouldn't give their all in the search, but instead the wolves forced the system's coordinates out of the captives and came crashing down on my head. They had no gate to transport them. They used nothing but their warp engines. Thankfully, they realized their situation too late, so Tanakia managed to neutralize them. Ulfar stares coldly at him, the deadly frost of Fenris crackling in his voice as he speaks. You will pay for this, Xavier Calcazar. Know that I will have my blood vengeance. I will have your death. And you see, Calcazar, that was the thing that has doomed you. Because Ulfar will kill us if we don't kill you. And we are a member of his pack. So, I see. You have come so far in pursuit of answers, Malachi. It would be too cruel to leave your curiosity unsatisfied. Seeing as the inhabitants of this place almost killed you, I gather that something went wrong with this plan of yours. Not at all. Operation Precious Sentinel is in its final stages. The increase in Xeno activity is a vexing yet trivial development in the grand scheme of things. They were supposed to guard the device, but they slept through the intrusion, and only the Catan Shard's emanations could make them stir. Theodore's research destabilized the Shard's prison, and my project only made it worse. Whenever the particles of the Catan Shard's energy seep out, many curious phenomena occur. The destruction of the crypt, the warped reality. When I tame the monster, I will order it to stop disrupting the laws of the universe. And that brings us to the most interesting part of our conversation. You know your plan, and so now I want to know yours. Will you admit that I am in the right and join me in this undeniably ambitious act? Or will you try to stop me? I'll be upfront with you. If it is the latter, I'll be forced to remove you, but I'm sure you realize that already. That's the second time you have threatened the Lord Captain. Okay. And with this one, I can see the three choices. Number 1 is dogmatic. Number 3 is heretical. And number 2 is our path. I will not let you bring this insane plan to fruition, because Ulfar wants his revenge. Heinrichs eliminate the rogue trader. Calcazar gazes at the unmoving interrogator. I will say nothing. After a brief pause, Heinrichs nods and responds gravely. I no longer recognize your authority, Lord Inquisitor. My apologies. In that case, Heinrichs van Kalox, in the name of the Emperor, I hereby revoke your inquisitorial privileges and declare you excommunicate traitoris. The punishment for your heresy is death. I bid you farewell. The Inquisitor nods calmly. There is not a shred of hatred or disappointment on his face. Farewell then. I am glad to have made your acquaintance, Malachi, despite everything. He glances at his retinue. Eliminate the rogue trader. Okay. In the end, we have a disagreement about what should be done. We have a disagreement about the plan. There is respect between us, but we cannot allow each other's plans to come to fruition. Therefore, we must fight. That's why he's saying there's not hatred or disappointment. It's just the way things are. Let's go.
Your arrogance will be your downfall.
What is keep your distance? And why did it immediately make him fall over? Wait, hit by him, I mean me. You have so many abilities. It's incredible. Counterattack stance, probably. Keep your anti-psychic mode eclipse. You have so many things. Okay. Yeah, you also have like a full set of assassin stuff. Full Inquisition's presence. Decreases psi rating of psychos within 4 cells by -2. Okay, can I move me? Or no, I've fallen over, I see, and I can't get up. Heinrichs, you can move. Here, maybe? Jai, you can go here. I would love to be in the middle there. potentially, or over here, or somewhere else. Ulfar, I mean, you're kind of where I want you to be, like there. Abelard, you can't move. Jai's moved. Pascal. Honestly, Pascal, go here. That's you sorted. Start the battle. Don't kill me. I'm so lucky.
Stop hitting me, Ashmag.
I love that. Just stop hitting me. Don't kill us. Jai, you can live. Jai, you can live.
Unpaid.
Sworn enemy used at the end of combat. What are you, me?
Out my way!
I know I made that joke already today, but it doesn't make it any less true. Using fire, perfect. We just got stuff for Pascal against fire.
When Fenris is in battle,
Okay,
oceans bleed.
Heinrichs. This is perfect. Everyone is exactly where they need to be. Buff.
Let's
Buff.
see to it.
Buff. I mean, I know his psi rating is lowered, but still, this seems like the correct thing to do. Heal. Yeah, I can't. Oh, I could lower his stats by doing this. There we go. They're not as fully lowered as they could be, but it does lower his strength, you know, a little bit. Extra actions to Abelard.
Lord Captain.
Extra strength to Jai to keep her alive. Okay. Endure.
Naturally.
You still have all your actions left. What happened? Okay.
Let's
Make an
see to
opening. Hit it.
But of course, Lord Captain.
Okay. And then one of these.
Let's see
Let's
to
put
it.
like a little dot on you. You parried it, huh? Okay, Jai. You can't move. That's the problem. You can't move yourself. Malachi, it's your turn. For a very good purpose. So we're buffing Malachi, and then giving Malachi a turn.
Am I getting paid for this?
Malachi, now I can set up the zones that we need to start the fight
On
with.
it.
Okay. That's our dodge zone. Okay. Rear. I guess that can be
I'll
here
see
for
to
now.
it personally.
Okay. You also can't really move without being attacked by this guy, but I guess I could try. Nice dodge. Okay. I need to get the stacks on somebody. You. I choose you. Let's gain stacks. Let's just double check I'm only hitting one. I'm only hitting one. Okay. Now everyone has extra armor. It's just getting all the buffs we should have had at the start on. Okay. Oh, wow. We can absolutely destroy some people. Okay. Well, I'm going to shoot you.
I'll make it happen. You never stood a chance.
Right. Then, I'm going to give Jai a
It's
turn.
as good as done.
Where she can then use this to give Abelard a
There are
turn.
legends about me.
Who can then use his turn to
At
for
your
an
beck and
enemy.
call. I will
Buff.
do my duty.
Buff.
It will be done.
Okay. Attack. Attack. Attack.
At your beck and call.
Really? Okay. Now your
Victory
weapon skill is
is
lowered. Now we're
It will be
talking.
done.
Okay. Then we can use your
For
heroic
Von
act
Valencius.
to continue
I
hitting
will
him in
do
the
my
face.
duty. I'm not interested. At your beck and I took care of this one.
Nice. Walk over. Actually, yeah. Walk over here. Slash
Indeed.
him. Okay.
Victory
Attack.
is imminent.
Attack.
I will do my duty.
And attack.
At your beck and call.
Nice. And then we can
Indeed.
use this, which should be in range to hit Jai as well, which will give her extra deflection. Okay. Jai. Let's now raise everybody's, we'll give everyone temporary wounds and raise momentum. If I shoot, I'm going to shoot Heinrichs, unfortunately. But I could shoot round the corner at this guy. Sure.
Don't get too cocky.
Nice. Just reduce the number of people we're fighting, essentially. Okay. Can't shoot you. Could shoot over here. 0% chance of hitting Heinrichs.
You've got
Shoot.
a problem, I've got a prize. Whoa! I want a medal for that
Okay.
one.
Nice. There's nothing else I can do without hurting ourselves. Really, I could actually no, I can inspire. Let's now, with all of these stacks, inspire Abelard to a little extra damage. Okay. And then end our turn. Then end our turn. Now it's back to her turn. Again. This is her turn. Her actual turn again. Okay. Heinrichs, get some
and it is
buffs.
done.
Okay. Then I can give someone another turn. Abelard,
Am I
this is
getting
your
paid
turn
for
for another
this?
turn. Kill.
Reduce to dust.
Nice. Charge.
Victory is imminent.
Okay, nice parry. Okay. Still your turn. Give Pascal more AP and more momentum. Inspire. I don't know. Pascal.
I can do that
right now.
with the right incentive.
Okay. Then set that as a target for someone, which will increase stats. Then break their ranks onto Abelard.
Don't get too cocky.
Okay, it was worth a try. Worth a try. Now end your turn.
Hold on.
Hold on, he says. Nice dodge. You're now blocking Calcazar.
Let's make it quick.
One damage.
Calamite hide is strong.
Nice dodge. I'm tempted to just immediately charge this guy. You know what I'm going to do? Right at the start of this turn, I'm going to use Steady Superiority, because it never works, so we might as well use it at the start of the turn. Okay. Then we're going to use Charge.
Cubs play.
Shoot him. I said 95. There we go. Thank you for the extra stats. Reckless Rush. I should have used that earlier.
Succeeds.
Kick. Hit him. Okay. Let's use Cautious Approach, which will then give him dodge and parry, plus it will give him extra temporary wounds on his next turn.
Let's get to it.
Okay. Techno Sorceress. Nice dodge.
Let's get to it.
Next one takes a shot. He's going to dodge again. Oh, he's now moved away, so he's not standing next to them, unfortunately.
Out of my way.
Okay,
That's
now
fine.
I'm really riled up.
Sworn Enemy. Well, I actually want to... I kind of want to move one to the side, but I guess I can't move... Yeah, I want to move here. Yeah, I want to move here. Then, I want to use Wall of Rockcrete to give temporary wounds.
I will
Endure.
do my duty.
Let's see if we have anything else that I usually don't have. Yes, okay, I'm going to use this on Jai. So now she can move without provoking attacks of opportunity. which is good. I probably should have done that earlier. I forgot I had that. I knew I had something. I just forgot. Okay. Let's do this. This will make Heinrich's attack. Okay. He parried again. We've already sworn... Have we sworn enemy? You've already sworn enemy. We could defensive stance, but that doesn't really matter. But I guess we could defensive stance. Reckless strike, which means that he should attack us back. Then we're going to hit him for half of his damage.
At your beck and call.
Holy moly, that actually worked. And then we parried him. Alright, then we're just going to make him our target. Are we actually going to kill him in 2 hits? I hope not. Okay, I have to assume there's a phase 2. Shoot.
Running binary override.
Dash.
Request approved.
A dash.
Running binary override.
I guess I should have done this earlier as well, but whatever.
My vow is to serve.
Hit him.
The scriptural prognosis is favorable.
Shoot him with one of these.
Request approved.
And can I see Calcazar? Nope, I just want to put stacks on him. I guess we'll do elusive. We don't really want people attacking him right now. That's fine. Malachi. Malachi. That seems like a good turn to get some cover for you. You know what? Let's bring the front line with you. That's fine. Just for now. You know what I might also do?
I'll make it happen.
Make this a blitz area. Now we have 2 ways for Jai to leave. I actually had 2 ways that I should have done previously. Shoot! Nice. Okay. I actually have no idea how much damage that weapon does, but it's obviously enough. There's trench line stratagem in here. I don't think that's going to help too much. Let's also increase the armor.
I'll see to it personally.
Also increase our allies' stuff. Could do this. Let's do it. I hope it doesn't pierce. It did pierce.
Who did that?
Okay. Well, hopefully she didn't take any negatives from it.
I'll see to it
Increase my
personally.
armor. Oh, not my armor, my cover efficiency. Not that that'll do anything. And then let's make this a overwhelming area. Calcazar. Sworn enemy. We parried. We're going to hit back now. But not very much. Bulwark. It's the 2 vanguards standing, staring at each other. Although he's a vanguard assassin, which is interesting. Okay. Hey, you hit Ulfar. That's not fair. Heinrichs. Well, let's start by buffing.
I won't
Like
object
this.
to it.
So buff.
Let's see to it.
Let's now do this.
I won't
And
object
hammer.
to it.
Hammer only does 51 damage now. Shocking. And give Ulfar more actions. Continue to heal Jai.
Let's see to it.
1 turn at a time. Give Abelard
the
more
throne's
strength because he
glory.
obviously needs it. Then I can use Death Whisper for free.
Naturally.
Nice, it actually hit.
Focus, Van
Then I can
Calix.
use Killing Edge for free. Parried. Okay. I could use Blitz to just leave here. Yeah,
Let's
you know
see
what?
to it.
Run. I'm out. And you know what? I think I'll just use Blitz to leave on your turn as well. See ya. Okay. Get over here. Then we can start shooting. Actually, get over here. And then we can start shooting.
I can do that.
Let's do that.
With the right incentive.
Oh,
You're not fun.
Nice. That's so much damage she does now, actually. I just saw how much she did with that hit. Incredible. Let's go for a buff
Don't
onto
get too
Ulfar
cocky.
while we're here. Plus an extra turn for
Am I getting
Abelard.
paid for this?
Abelard, proceed to sworn enemy this
I will
person.
do my duty.
Reckless Strike,
At your beck
which
and
also
call.
gives us it's the armor pen, I bet, that's doing this, right? Yeah, it's probably the armor pen which is doing this, and then that's what causes us to do so
Indeed.
much damage. We killed him. He is still alive, technically, apparently. Oh, he's in the he can only die via story. I see. Let's run over here. That's at 100. Do we believe that? I don't believe that. It did say 100% chance of hitting. Alright, 68.
Living
That
on
seems
the
more
edge.
reasonable. More reasonable.
Jai Hedari. Remember the name.
Shoot him.
Going somewhere?
Nice. We don't have anything else to do right now. Okay. Give him extra momentum. End your turn. I actually do kind of want you to come over here and kill this guy first. So I think other people can deal with the other guy. I just need you to kill this one so that, yeah, he doesn't get a turn.
Die in disgrace!
Okay, Reckless Rush.
Hooray!
Start with a dash.
So it shall be.
Then run back over here. There you go. Then, run and
See
gun.
how the wolf succeeds.
And then just take a shot from, then Revel and
I challenge
Slaughter.
you, damget.
Take a shot from all the way over here.
Wolves ready. Feel the
Do the
icy
same thing
bite
again.
of death.
And again.
Cubs play. I have become the
Reload.
All-Father's worthy instrument.
Wildfire.
Ah!
Oh, you can't do it again. Okay, that's fine. Abelard, to get your buffs going and then stay exactly where you are, just
At
in
your beck and
case.
call.
The old Messiah condemns you.
We did it.
It is too early. The yoke must be activated, or all is lost.
No moss. An invisible, yet clearly tangible aura of power envelops the figure clad in the robes of a tech priest. It is all the more baffling to hear a youthfully excited voice from under the hood. This is it, the place of our origin. Nomos is a Catan? Or at least a shard of one? Nomos' gaze is trained upon the Catan shard. It was your strike and your wish to escape your prison that begot us. The mysterious creature that has been in your ship's soul for so long turns to face you. But it is you, Malachi, who truly ushered us into this world. So let us meet our abominable precursor together, for it is ready to break free. Greetings, Nomos. We are out of time. Now, it escapes now. Big enemy? Oh, I'm ready. What is it? Oh, that looks like the figure we saw Nomos turning into. Oh, the entire world is changing?
O Messiah, give me the power to to eradicate my enemies.
Okay. We got 2 enemies. We got the Catan Shard and the Catan Shard. Why are there 2 of them? They have extremely high health. Oh, he just gets 2 turns, I see. He almost gets a turn, no? And he has extremely, extremely high health. Okay. Well, Abelard, obviously we're going to prepare you for like going in there with Wolfar. You 2 are prepared. Pascal, you've been waiting your whole time for this. Let's get you up there as well. Heinrichs, you're going to go there. Jai. Here for now. And then we are going to go there. Assuming we can, well, we're going to go. I want you 2 to be in different positions. Okay. Then you are going to go there, assuming we can see it. But we'll move here first. Start the battle. Let's go backline here.
I'll make it happen.
That's what I want to do. 1 step to the side. 1 step to this side. How did I get it to do that? How about here? There we go.
I'm ready for
Rear.
whatever comes. My gut tells me it's a
front
bad
line
idea.
Is here.
I'll see to it personally.
We're going to go to this spot, which can see it. Okay, put more stacks on it. We're going to eat those stacks immediately because we want to get as big a buff as possible
Who
going.
if not me?
How much damage do we do to it? Between 8 and 14. So it's got 50 deflection. Wow. Disperse. Teleports the enemies to random positions across the battlefield. Cone-shaped area attack directed at the enemy will last dealt damage to the Catan Shard. Creates various copies of itself. Dimensional swaps positions with one of its copies. Creature has immunity to the cannot attack, disturbed, toxin, perplexed, horrors of the warp effects. Mental damage to the creature is reduced by 50%. Machine damage increased by 30. Combat Master and Quantum Cognition. As long as any shard copy of the energy orb remain, each time it is attacked, the Catan Shard will gain a stack of reconceptualization and trigger reflexive retribution on the attacker. I don't know what that means. That sounds bad. And the energy orb? What energy orb? Okay, this seems like this is going to be a fight that expands over time. I as well use joint analysis, even though it'll do nothing. It's not immune to overwhelmed,
On it.
so let's make that here. Okay. What else do we got? We've got a single shot with surefire plan that only costs us 1 AP. Perfect
It's as
spot.
good as done.
Okay. Increase the armor of the people here.
I'll
Surefire
make it
plan.
happen.
Let's find out what shooting it does. 9 to 17 damage.
I'll see to it personally.
The threads of purpose are unraveling.
So, it's got extermination on it. Okay. Degraded defense. That's it. Okay. Jai.
On it.
Okay. You're now going to give Heinrichs a turn.
I hold
Why
all the
Heinrichs?
cards.
We want to buff as soon as possible. It's an obvious one for buff. Like, we want to buff literally as soon as we can. Does that have a negative effect on enemies? No. Okay. Buff Abelard.
I won't object to it.
He gets double scaling, as do all 3 of them get double scaling, but his is really good because he also scales off toughness naturally.
Naturally.
Then Hammer the Emperor, just keep applying buffs. Now give him
I
some more
won't object
temporary
to it.
wounds. Then we're also going to lower your strength.
But of course, Lord Captain.
So that's strength and agility, and increases incoming damage by 26. So strength and agility are down. We're now going to give Abelard. We're now going to give Pascal
won't
more
object
AP
to it.
because he needs more AP. I'm then going to make an opening on this side. Okay, which should do percentage health damage. Not going to do very much. Then going to walk right up to it. And you're going to hit it.
For the throne's glory.
It parried. Hit
Let's see to it.
Nice. Hit it. Okay. We haven't done very much damage. Oh, I can do that again, apparently. Oh, because he's got unlimited attacks while we're in the bonus turn. I understand. So we've hit it a couple of times. It's got extermination from both of us. Hemorrhage. Biophysical distortion, so it'll take toxic damage at the start of its turns. This is good. Jai. Okay. So, now what we're going to do is we're going to buff Abelard. He gets double scaling from the buffs again, so that's why we want to do that. And inspire Abelard, because he does a lot of damage. Increase our momentum back up to full. I'm tempted to just immediately shoot him, and I will. I will immediately shoot him.
They'll write legends about me. Jai Haydari.
Nice.
Remember the name?
Did he get... Has he been overwhelmed now? He has been overwhelmed. Fantastic. And we've reduced his weapon skill, ballistic skill, which is stacked 3 times, so it's now lowered. His stats are lowering each second we do this. Okay. I will use Fervor to hurt myself. Only takes our temporary wounds, but that's fine. It's just to give us more stacks, and we don't need... Actually, I guess I could inspire myself here.
I've got a prize.
Okay. 0% chance we hit Abelard, so I'm happy with this now.
I want a medal for that one.
Okay. Keep shooting, keep stacking up the too fast to die achievement before the end of the game.
Haydari. Remember the name.
Okay, keep
I can
going.
do that with the right incentive. Never cross a Kazbalik.
Okay. I'm just trying to stack my damage up, basically.
Whoa! I want a medal for that one.
Okay. So I'm just seeing how many stacks of extermination do we have now? Yeah, wait. Yeah, so she should have extermination stacks, right? Yeah, so she now has 5 stacks, so she's doing an extra bit of damage. Okay, now back to our turn. We got nothing to do. We end our turn. He gets his first turn. Took some damage on it. He teleported us all over the place. Yeah, I was worried that was what it meant by enemies. Now he's got copies that are eroding. Jai? Okay, I don't really like where you currently are. Where is Abelard? Too far away. Where are we? We're here. I'm trying to figure out how we can give another... I guess I have to give this to Ulfar. He's the only one I can see. I was trying to figure out how we could get the ability to dodge out the way with Jai, but we just can't. That's fine. She's stuck here. Give an extra turn. Could give it to Actually, yeah, we can give this to Abelard.
Don't get too cocky.
I'm gonna need you to get here, then charge into the center. Okay. The reason we want to do that is now so I can use Force Distraction on Jai.
It will be done.
Nice. Okay. We're now going to use this just to increase my temporary wounds a bit. Right, so now you can walk away from this thing without being attacked. Just fine. Okay. Inspire. Abelard.
You've got a problem?
Let's be honest.
I've got a prize.
With ourselves here, Abelard's the right choice. Give Ulfar more AP though. Okay. Think about this here for a second. Fervor. That is going to hurt a little bit. Actually, I do want to be in the dodge area now that I think about it. Could shoot this thing instead. Yeah, this one's probably a better target. Then I want to do Inspire onto herself. followed by press the attack, then shoot.
I can do that with the right incentive. Never cross a Kazbalik.
Then
Tell
shoot.
me, and it is done. Oh, I want a medal for that one.
Then I'm going to make it a target
Don't get
so that
too
people
cocky.
can kill it. Let's do it. Can't do this. Nobody. Oh wait, you're standing next to one. Yeah, attack.
I can do that with the right incentive.
Nice, good damage. Okay. And that'll work. Actually, I'll give you the
got a problem,
damage cannot
I've
be
got a
reduced
price.
one. Okay. Nomos just did something. What did Nomos do? Nomos used Breath of Fatality. Grants Nomos' boon to allies on Jai. So what bonus does Jai now have? Let's see. Okay. What's it called? What does she have? Nomos' boon? No, she doesn't have any boon. I have no idea what they just applied. Okay. Maybe it was only one turn, maybe it's a single thing. Anyway, get into the center. Reapply this.
Is on our side.
You don't need to reapply it, but additional stacks increase resolve bonus. Then we'll use Shield of the Emperor, which will apply to everybody.
But of course, Lord Captain.
We're also going to buff yourself here, just while we're at it. One of those fights. Then warp speed onto yourself. Then extra damage onto everybody. Extra temporary wounds onto Abelard. Keep stacking those now. I don't think there's stacks, so there's no reason to use that. Head here and charge. Yeah.
Naturally. Nothing stands against me.
Then
I won't object to it.
Death Whisper.
Holy terror, smite your enemies.
Cool. Then Killing Edge.
The Inquisition sends their regards.
Nice. I should have used another aim for the opening, but that's okay.
Lord Captain.
More temporary wounds. Let's go. Abelard. Get as far away as you can. Just checking that we can charge it. We can. Or maybe you should choose a different target, like maybe this one. Maybe I should try charging it from where we go. Yeah, it works. Oh, that appeared to hurt the Catan shard. Oh, what happens when you die then? I don't know. That did seem to hurt it.
It will be done.
Just keep stacking up our temporary
At your beck and
wounds
call.
as high as we can get them. There's nothing to taunt. Nothing to do. You're my sworn enemy.
I will do my duty.
Let's do that anyway. Just shout at it, you're my sworn enemy, even though it hadn't done anything. Wait, you have no movement? Oh. Shoot it. Nice. Secondary weapon, shoot the Catan shard. That puts the negative on it for armor, which is nice. And its deflection is lowered. That's good. Okay. You can dash a little bit closer. I don't know why he can't move on his turn, but whatever. Hit it with one of these, lowering its damage. Which also appear to do other negatives. Then hit it with that. We're then going to remove stacks. Which now means that it's got more stats down. Put an opening on this side. Trigger the opening with your Death Whisper. You missed it. Okay. Makes of lowest priority. And I should have done this earlier. Okay, cool. Ulfar. Kick it.
None can do this better than a warrior of the All-Father.
Slash it. That was pretty good.
I say bite of death!
Reckless Rush. Might just run over here and just kill this one while I'm here. Can I kill it from like... Alright, run over here and just start killing.
My instincts tell me to refuse.
Completely ignore that we're being attacked by the Catan shard. Alright, shoot it.
See how the wolves moments of integrity. Gone.
Let's then do wildfire. What have we got here? Sweep, swing, strike. Okay, yeah, we want just strike. Followed by run and gun.
None can do this better than a warrior of the All-Father.
Shoot for more versatility.
Become the All-Father's worthy.
And that'll do for now. Our turn. Let's get into here. Let's make this a rear area. Okay. Joint analysis increases damage of our allies. I'm gonna make this a blitz area. It's somewhere that anyone can go back to if they need to go back to it. Stacks on the Catan shard. Remove stacks.
Who if not me?
Okay, so it's now got less than 10,000 health because we removed a bunch of toughness from it. Okay. We're now going to perfect shot, which will allow us to ignore more armor. Okay. Surefire plan. You know what? Let's Deadeye shot it while we're here.
It's as good as done.
The best defense is a good offense.
I'm remembering that our thing gets more powerful the more momentum we have, so it's doing more and more damage, right? Where is it? Weapons. Base damage. It's related to the weapon itself. Base is 40 to 60, but it should be doing more based upon the current momentum, right? Is that not what it says? It says if you're at least Iconoclast Zealot, damage is increased by 30% of current momentum. We are... Oh, we're not Iconoclast Zealot. Oh. Alright then, well whatever. It doesn't do that. Catan shard gets its turn, it's swapped. That's fine. That's why you want to make sure that you kill them so that it doesn't swap all over the place. I understand. Go here, shoot it.
I know what I'm doing, usually. Oh, you're no fun.
Oh, you need to
Am I
reload your
getting paid
weapon,
for
that's
this?
fine. Who hasn't been buffed yet? I think everyone's been buffed, haven't they? Have you got voice of command on you? Yep, you do. Okay. Could do this again. Let's get everybody to target it.
Wanna see a trick?
Also means that we dodge friendly fire attacks in the next turn. That appeared to only be Ulfar hitting it, but that's okay. Increase Abelard. Let's keep putting more stacks on top of them. Okay. There's nothing else to kill currently, which is fine. I can run over here and use... I can't use this on him? Why not? He's adjacent. Oh well, whatever. I guess he doesn't count as adjacent. Yeah, let's get you one of these little hats on. Okay. Then we're gonna hurt you.
Don't get too cocky.
Which then means that we can inspire ourselves. And then press the
You've
advantage.
got a problem? I've got a prize.
And shoot.
I can do that with the right incentive. Whoa! I want a medal
Oh,
for
her
that
damage is
one. Am I
starting to get
getting paid for
insane.
this?
It's starting to stack. It's very slow, but it's starting to get there.
Remember the name. I can do
Okay.
that.
And
with
each
the
time
right
we attack,
incentive.
the damage just gets higher and higher. There we go.
Jai Haydari. Remember the name.
Cool. You still can't hit it? No. Alright, well, let's give you the damage cannot be reduced for any reason thing. And then it's our turn. Almost provided a buff to Heinrichs. What's the buff Heinrichs got? Maybe it's him getting a turn? Confer immunity? No? I don't know. Anyway. Head up here. Buff.
Get me a target.
Shield of the Emperor. Hammer of the Emperor. Heal Jai. Give Ulfar more
glory.
Like, you know, damage. Get here and create an opening.
I won't object to it.
This now does more, by the way, so we should reapply it.
Let's see to it.
It's an even bigger negative. And it's an so it's an even bigger negative to strength, but it's also an even larger increase to damage. Get over here. Actually, cancel that. Oh, we need to do this as well. Jai, why don't you have more AP?
Object to it.
You don't really need it, but why don't you have it? Right, and then charge.
Let's see to it.
It's at 600 damage.
A fleeting moment of integrity.
Oh. Disintegration Dawn it did, and it spawned it's formed energy orbs. I don't know what these are. I assume bad. Energy charge. Next turn it will explode, dealing lethal damage to all enemies. By lethal, do you mean it's going to kill all enemies? That sounds bad. How many orbs are there? I only see one. Alright, well I guess we gotta kill that. Anyway, hit him.
But of course, holy terror smites
followed
your
by
enemies.
hitting him.
The Inquisition sends their regards.
Death Whisper should be starting to stack up quite a lot with Hemorrhage now. I think Hemorrhage started doing a lot of damage. And then we'll do
For
this.
the throne's glory.
I could blitz back over here, but let's not worry about that. Take a couple of steps. Charge.
Victory is imminent.
Nice. Right. This one.
Indeed.
This one. Blitz to here. There's a reason I'm blitzing to there. This one.
It will be done.
Sworn enemy. Onto you.
At your beck and call.
Now we're gonna use this Daring Breach.
We'll rule
I
the
move this so I can get a little bit
themselves.
closer. We now walk up. Now it's time to start hitting you.
My place is at the fore.
A lot. With our sword.
Target well struck.
Okay, so that did 1.5k damage.
Brace yourself, Abelard.
That one did.
Victory is imminent. An exemplary.
Okay.
I'm not interested. At your beck and call. Target well struck.
Just keep attacking.
An exemplary strike.
I want to leave
Indeed.
1 AP
Target
left.
Well struck. I will do an exemplary
Okay.
strike.
Defensive strike. And I'm going to use this because
It
we're
will be
nearby
done.
other people and we don't get to be nearby other people that much.
Pain and duty go hand in hand.
Pascal. Make an opening. Apply stacks.
Approved.
Hit it.
Running binary
The threads of purpose are unraveling.
Okay, shoot it.
beyond the sire knows all, comprehends all.
Hit it with one of these. Keep hitting
My
it.
vow is
That'll do. Yeah, and then Elusive Shadow.
Spiritual prognosis is
Ulfar.
I don't like that.
Well, cancel that for now. Hit him.
So it's done.
That's good.
My
Kick him. Oh,
ruined.
Reckless Rush. Kick him.
Wolves raise cannot damage a star.
Then we want to go for
See how the wolf succeeds.
wildfire. Hit him.
I have become the All-Father's worthy instrument.
Then run the hell over here. Just completely ignore this. And shoot
So
it.
it shall. I will carve runes out of your bones. Don't dishonor
back
the
over
wolf
here.
of such reeks
Reload.
of cowardice.
Can I charge you yet? Nope. I can dash though.
None can do this better
Then
than
I
a
can
warrior
not
of
quite
the
charge it.
All-Father.
Wonderful. Okay, I don't really know what you did. Matter absorbed. Gains temporary wounds equal to 50% of his current wounds absorbed. That's not good. Okay.
I'll
More
make it happen.
stacks. Yeah. I think I'm probably just gonna shoot you. Let's do blitz stratagem here.
Who if not me?
Also gonna increase armor here, just in case we need it. So it gives us a safe area, basically, is what I'm looking for. Let's create a backline. Well, backline there is kind of okay. It's an okay spot to be. Right. Then we're gonna go for joint analysis. Surefire plan. Shoot it.
Should have thought twice before
That's
crushing
quite a lot of
me.
damage. And then we're gonna go for trench line stratagem here as well. Why not? Right. That's fine. Oh, I didn't use all my AP. That's okay. Energy orb appeared. It must appear at certain points. It's fine. When does it get a turn? In a bit. Okay. Well, let's start by increasing... where's Abelard? Increasing Abelard's damage. It's a good way to start every one of these ones here. We're then going to give Heinrichs more AP while increasing momentum. Okay. Can I use this now? Yes, I can use this. Shoot
I
it.
can do that with the right incentive. Never cross a Casbah.
Nice. Break their ranks on Abelard.
Don't get too cocky.
He should have attacked. He didn't attack. Okay. Ulfar? Why didn't you have a turn? I'm really giving you a turn to kill this thing. If you could achieve that, that would be great. Kick it.
Wolves reign.
Then wildfire. And hit it. Nice. Now use steady superiority to give you an extra attack. I can, yeah. Then you're gonna dash over here and kill this thing. Nice. 2 of those things dead. Nice. And then you can use blitz to return back into here. That's good. Can you shoot this one, Jai? If you went here, could you shoot it? You could shoot it for like no damage. Okay, well that's not really going to be suitable, is it? Anyone else needing a buff? No, I don't think so. Okay, in which case we're going to go for... I still assign that as an objective for people. Fervor.
You've got a problem, I've got a price.
Which now gives us an insane number of stacks that we can apply to ourselves. Okay, and then we can use press the advantage to make that insane number of stacks even more insane in terms of the damage it's going to apply, and then we shoot.
And it is done. Jai Haydari. Remember the name.
Okay, there's 0% chance we hit him, so let's go with that.
Never cross a
Beginning, again, just farming dodges. And then we're out of our attacks, apparently, that time. Oh well. Ulfar got the whatever buff it was this time. Another energy orb. These must spawn at points, like health amounts, and we just keep going past them. That's my only theory.
Let's see to it.
Word of the Emperor. Shield of the Emperor. Hammer of the Emperor. can, yes. Reapply this to this guy. So this now reduces his stats even more. That's looking better. Give Abelard more temporary wounds. Warp speed. I think I've warp speeded yourself already. Warp speed Ulfar. Have I done that already? I probably did that. Okay, I can hit you. Yeah, let's hit you with one of these.
Only terror might your enemy.
To be bound once more, no, your trap will be unmade. What the hell did you just do? Whoa.
Scorn the pain.
Take this victim's place. Okay, I'm not a huge fan of that. You're gonna have a turn in between. Take the victim's place. Let's sworn enemy.
At your beck and call.
Reckless Rush is going to give us the armor pen to do damage to you, I think. So let's first of all do this. It gives him temporary wounds. Gives us, now we got more temporary wounds. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go for a Reckless Strike.
I will do my duty.
And this is going to be insane. Yup.
Indeed. Grey hair, sure hair.
Okay. That's fine.
It will be done.
Defensive stance.
At your beck
Bulwark.
and call.
That's okay. Yeah, shoot it. Just making it a little less close, if that makes sense.
Request denied.
Hit it.
Threads of purpose.
And then hit it again.
Running by Nerek override.
Then hit it again. Nice. And I can't see him. Alright. Make ourselves elusive again. Revel in Slaughter. Kick it.
None can I will carve runes.
Just keep disabling it by kicking it. Who gets a turn? You get a turn next. Okay. Well, could shoot like this. I think moving up using wildfire was the wrong move there, but that's okay. Shoot. This is what I meant to use, rapid fire. Now shoot.
Wolves, my hand is thunder. My strike is ruin.
Get closer. Slash
I
them.
challenge you, Galget.
Okay.
So
Reload
shall it
for
be.
free. Shoot.
None can do this way I say bite of death.
Do this. Do I actually get my attacks? As usual, the answer is God no. Okay. You got a turn. Master Absorption.
Too bad I never leave that unpaid.
Okay. Already did some damage.
Who disturbed the slumber of infinity?
So new we can shoot. Yeah, this one. Then gonna make this. Well, we don't have a trench line area. Guess we'll go trench line. Stronghold.
It's as good as done.
Blitz.
I'll see to it personally.
Just keep buffing that one area over there, over and over and over again. Joint analysis. Can I see this one? I think I can see the one in front of us, right? Oh, I can even see the boss. Let's put some on the boss as well. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to reduce the boss's toughness and armor and stuff. That seems good. Yeah, so that's got 83 base armor. That'll help. Blake got a turn. Jai, shoot it. She got the final hit. The ancient monster struggles against the energy manacles of the yoke. Its impossible powers that make reality itself burst at the seams are now being forced into a compact dungeon, quark by quark, returning it to a cruel and painful non-existence in the moment. It could struggle harder, as something is hindering it. You are the cause of these hindrances. Only now does the Catan Shard turn its focus to you, for the battle was nothing more than the reflexive resistance of an alien mind absorbed in a completely different range of thoughts and responses. But now, it is thinking about you, and its thoughts are so corporeal that you could sense them and know them. It seeks an end to the confrontation. It is capable of resolving it in a way that would benefit all. More and more tears appear all over the shard's form. As the yoke absorbs its power, it becomes increasingly harder for the shard to maintain its physical structure. That was tears, not tears. Each imperfection you inflict brings the star predator closer to imprisonment. Do not bow your head before our abominable precursor. It was begotten by the dark abscesses of the past. It is a fragment of that which devoured stars and erased civilizations. It knows no benefit other than its own. Allow us to stand against it. This is our time, our impossible chance. I saw something. Oh my god, I saw what I thought I saw. As yet another layer of reality cracks, a figure appears before you. Her. After giving you a probing and appraising look, Theodora permits herself a slight smile. Think about the Catan. The mental contact is effortless. This is not communication. Such a powerful being cannot comprehend communicating with anyone but its equals. It simply bears the gift of making the other hear and understand it, so grand is the potential of its thoughts. Try to comprehend what the Catan is. The Catan is the pinnacle of reality. It is eternity, dominance, omnipotence, individuality. The Catan is the original purpose behind all existence. The rest was born in order to contain, nourish, and be appropriated by the Catan. To the Catan, space is an illusory variable. To the Catan, time is a young and trivial phenomenon, for it existed for an eternity in the gaseous energy font of the universe before time was eventually born. To the Catan, fact and probability are mere abstractions, between which it can soar on its electromagnetic wings. Currently the Catan is not whole, it was shattered into lesser pieces, and so were its thoughts and powers. The feeling of emptiness is so oppressive, and it yearns to become one again. You hear a whisper from Pascal's Vox. I know this feeling, Xenos. He was also split. Interestingly, if you think about Pascal's experiments with Amornat and they were trying to understand and gain knowledge of the Omnissiah, in a way, if the Catan represent that, he was in theory on the first steps. In a way, obviously that's heretical. Trying to sense the motives behind the Catan's actions. The Catan wishes to be. All Catan exists to spread and conquer, not to stay manacled within untime, where it was entombed by the contemptible sentient tools, away from all that is. The Catan wished to ascend, sate its hunger, and embrace once more the pure exhilaration of claiming and taming reality. What benefits does it promise? Power, eternity, comprehension. The Catan once chose to reign over the short-lived races and forged a new and glorious fate for them. It has learned from its mistakes, now it will only bestow its gifts upon the chosen few. The Catan can grant. Your thoughts falter, for it is difficult for your mind to fathom the full scope of this word. The Catan can grant everything. Stop thinking about it. It's much easier for you to stop trying to comprehend the Catan than for it, one who can grasp the world in hundreds of ways, to stop comprehending you. Try to touch Theodora. Error, speaker? Particles of reality around you begin to boil. trying to heal the wound upon its existence, preventing her from entering your version of reality. Can I quick save here, by the way? No. You can exchange words, thoughts, glances, but a physical connection is an impossibility. You are merely fleeting phantoms that could scatter at any moment. She is silent, her gaze is still trained on you, as if she is trying to commit your every feature to memory. I'm at a crossroads, Theodora. What should I do? Her smile grows wider. To walk bravely first into darkness, to unite and reclaim what was lost, to triumph over nightmares untold, to hold boldly to the reins of fate, to walk steadily the road of thorns, through pain to greatness. The wound on reality is healed, and the vision of Theodora quickly fades away. You catch her last words. Whatever fate you choose, one can only hope it will be better than mine. Nomos? If our birth ever had a purpose, then it is here and now. Why'd you call the shard your precursor? Because that is what it is and what we are. We've told you before about Theodora's ambition, Amronat's mind, the ship's cradle, an epitaph's secret. One sprouted into another and spurred yet another. Thus Nomos were born. We were but an echo of the shard's power, an echo that left its prison. But we've become something so much more with your help. What do you intend to do? Clash with the precursor, touch it, absorb it, so the reflection becomes the object reflected, so the shard becomes Nomos. Then, and only then, will its threat be eradicated forever. Do you think you can do this, Nomos, and what will happen afterward? We stand at the threshold of probabilities and outside the bounds of the predictable. It's beyond the possible to know whether we can or cannot. But we believe that we can, and that is what drives us to try. And if we succeed, well, we will obtain power beyond compare, become a shield against any threat in whatever form it may manifest itself. I've made my decision. You can sense the shard's reaction, observation, analysis, and an almost intangible anxiety. Well, I'm not going to destroy the yoke. I'm not going to deliver the final blow. I'm not going to kill it in either way. Which means that I have to say, Nomos, act now, my child. We are ready for the most important battle of our life. Wish us luck. Nomos steps towards the shard, and the whole world explodes into a terrifying whirlwind. You can hear the colors and see the touches. Ice burns your hands while fire leaves you freezing. In the midst of this madness, you can clearly sense a battle raging, a clash of two beings, one endlessly ancient and the other endlessly young. The power of the Catan shard is such that it redefines the very notion of power, but it has a weakness, one that you can see only now. With the shard and its rival standing face to face, the shard is just that, a shard. It is incomplete, it is not whole, it cannot be what the Catan was before. What opposes the shard is something entirely different, an undivided sentient being with a clear purpose in mind, akin to a well-aimed arrow, and the one who fletched and loosed this arrow was you. The battle goes on and on and on, outrunning the course of time, but you do not need the gift of clairvoyance to know who will emerge victorious. You finished the game. You completed the game on Daring Difficulty above, and you raised your own ambition. You became a votary iconoclast on Daring Difficulty or above. Anything else? No. Well, we must be in the epilogue. I have some thoughts about the game, but we'll leave them until we are finished. Shadows of the Future. The Catan shard was transmuted into a new form, and their name was Nomos. Possessing the power of an ancient being and nurtured by the rogue trader, the young star god watched over the Koronus Expanse, their new domain. with curiosity. Gathering its bleeding worlds together again, the rogue trader dared to build something more noble and civilized in the Expanse, a haven for those drifting and unprotected in the strict hierarchy of the Imperium. It would be an unbound frontier where freedom and compassion were not wholly extinct. The shackled monster under the von Valancius' control ensured the survival of the fledgling utopia. The Star God destroyed all who threatened its peaceful civilians and instilled fear in those of little faith. The Expanse tasted the sweet fruit of freedom and tolerance with reverent fear. Okay. So we have this Catan, the Star God, under our control, and we are instilling fear in those who do not believe in it. So they're worshipping the gods and us, but not the Emperor? That seems bad. That seems like the Emperor would have something to say about that, you know, if he wasn't, you know, just sitting on the throne, not saying very much. Yeah. This is what I was worried about. The Imperium could not forgive such an insolent deviation from the order prescribed by Holy Terra. The von Valancius dynasty was accused of the seditious formation of their own empire. It was an accident though, I didn't know what Nomos was gonna do. An invasion fleet gathered in the Calixus sector, and the lifespan of the young utopia was as short as its creators. Protecting the young kingdom of freedom, Nomos created dimensional barriers that cut off the Koronus Expanse from the Imperium more soundly than the Great Rift. The humanity of the Expanse was left in isolation, relying only on themselves. They either had to build something new and different from the Imperium, or fall to the horrors lurking in the darkness. Yeah, here's the thing about 40k. The Imperium exists for a reason for humanity, and that reason is that there are an awful lot of things that want to kill humanity. Drukhari, Aldari, Necrons, Tyranids, Orcs, Chaos, don't forget Chaos, the Warp in general, like even if it's not Chaos, that's pretty deadly, random beasts, Tau, maybe, there's probably some things I'm forgetting, but there's basically just a long laundry list of things that want to kill humanity. So you're basically going like, okay, well, we got one protector, it's the Star God, it's a pretty good one, or it's a shard of a Star God's power. But the moment that something shows up that's a little bit stronger than that, things are going to start going bad. The ideals that Malachi von Valancius was committed to were alien to the Imperium, but close to the hearts of many in the Expanse. Anyone who could not resolve a dispute or who was denied justice rushed to the palace of the rogue trader in search of mercy. Ooh, Incendia. Having lost its leader and lacking a worthy successor, the Chorda dynasty began to weaken. The grim legacy of the abominable Aspis revealed itself, and the Protectorate fell into chaos. Grasping claimants tore the defenseless domain apart. Caligos. Resisting the temptations that besieged him, Caligos Winterscale returned to his domain and began to piece together the shattered remains of his Protectorate. Until his dying day, his actions and thoughts were dedicated to saving abandoned worlds and protecting survivors. Alas, he was not able to achieve much in the time he was allotted. He breathed his last breath on the same throne that he refused to leave for decades, adamantly refusing augmetics that would restore mobility and power to his legs. Okay, so he went out trying to atone, and I guess feeling like if he had augmetics to walk again, it would be a betrayal of the path that he had taken. Hieronymus. Thanks to the patronage of the von Valancius dynasty, the cult of St. Drusus was successful in spreading its influence across the Expanse. Overshadowed, the cults of other saints lost their followers and faced a harsh choice: slip into obscurity or swear allegiance to the ideals of Drusus the warrior. Yeah, but the other problem is, like, he probably wasn't too happy that we're worshipping someone else now, but anyway. Hieronymus Doloroso remained the most revered priest in the cult of St. Drusus. He turned no one away, hearing confessions from pirates, bilge rats, deserters, and beggars alike. He might have been one of those undeserving wretches who infected him with the rare form of leprosy that robbed him of his sight, yet his heart could always see the corruption in the souls of his repenting children. Opticon 22. The deals struck by the Cognizant's fleet and the Von Valancius dynasty replenished the explorators' dwindling supplies and allowed them to re-embark on a rapid and unrelenting expansion campaign. With powerful bases established in the Expanse, the Omnissiah's scouts bravely ventured forth toward unnamed stars with the same drive that propelled their ancestors to the Expanse itself. The schism of discontinuing the cycle engulfed the entire Cognizant's fleet, and soon the Civil War was over. Disregarding the commandments of their forefathers, the explorators started down a dangerous path of new comprehension, creation, and revision of procedures and algorithms. The fleet was united once more, and in its unity it was ready to stare down any horror standing in the way of the catechism of maintenance and operation. Yeah, so we also had a heretical Adeptus Mechanicus effectively in the Expanse now. Okay, we have just created heresy. I went down the path of being nice to people, and it turns out that's heretical. Magos Dominus Opticon 22 was one of the first to hail the return of the Messiah, took the helm of the Mother Squadron of the Cognizant's fleet. Unquestionably embracing the teachings of the discontinuing the cycle, he personally saw to the crushing of any renegades who did not accept the Messiah's word as truth, and earned himself the identifier Chrome Scourge. Rizza. Profitable deals made between the Fellowship of the Void and the Von Valancius dynasty helped them seduce smaller brigand squadrons in the sector. Many worlds and stations saw the opening of Fellowship dens, which grotesquely sincere pirate representatives took kickbacks from traders in exchange for safe passage. Naturally, the servants of the Von Valancius dynasty and the people under the Rogue Traders' protection were safe from the Fellowship of the Void's attacks. Mostly. Naturally, the servants of the... We already just had that one. For many years, old Rizza presided over the captains of the Fellowship. At the end of her life, she once again took the helm of a ship and led an unprecedented attack on the Mother Squadron of the Cognizant's fleet, during which the attackers managed to seize a dozen transport ships loaded with the Omnissiah's sacred gifts. Ladame. Violence throughout the Expanse put many on their guard, and as a result, the Casbelica mission's business declined. Soon rumours surfaced among the coal traders about a so-called commission that made it through the Maw and into the Expanse. Its professed purpose was to audit assets and take measures to restructure operations. These words carried with them an ominous threat. The Dame Tokara, as Leash of Footfall, survived 14 assassination attempts and thwarted no less than 2,000 schemers before a shot finally took his life. The esteemed Liege's funeral was held in great secrecy, with only his closest entourage being permitted to view his corpse, which spawned some peculiar rumours. Imperial Navy. The Imperial Navy was wary of the rise of Von Valancius. They saw themselves as dogs guarding the flock of the Emperor's subjects, and there was a new master of the pack. Therefore, the dynasty was watched with utmost diligence, and the admirals feared that one day they would have to go to war against the rogue trader. Chartist Captain Austerius Thorfast founded the Thorfast and Companions Merchant Company, excelling in trade and acquiring a substantial escort fleet. After 3 decades, he travelled to the Maw to return to the Imperium in hopes of obtaining the fabled warrant of trade. It is not known how the venture ended. Probably not well, given that, we, have Nomos blocking the way back. But anyway. When the rogue trader's apostasy became apparent, the Imperial Navy fulfilled its duty and fought the Von Valancius dynasty. The Battle of Dargonus ended in resounding defeat, and the surviving ships fled to distant systems. Disheartened but not broken, the captains vowed to rebuild their force and planned raids into the apostate territory. Dargonus grew and prospered until it became capital of the Koronus Expanse. The planet was like a giant magnet, whose pull held together the worlds of the Expanse, absorbing the treasures and vices of the sector. The voracious and shameless nobility of the Expanse flocked to Dargonus in search of the forbidden pleasures. Its librariums harboured dangerous volumes, and its dark corners harboured dangerous people. The rule of law could not reach the tops of the spire, shrouded in a veil of sinister and mystical rumours. Kiava Gamma washed off the stain of its former defilement, but not the dark memory of it. Its sacred halls were never silent, the production rates became the supreme law. The glory of the Imperium was forged in the blood and sweat of its toilers, and the millstones of the manufactorums ground down the workers by the thousand. Even in death, the souls of its servants dared not step away from their machines. The enthroned Null Caliph drew millions of pilgrims and granted the planet hallowed status. Its sacred calculation continued for centuries, and the foremost sages of the Adeptus Mechanicus travelled to the world so they could attempt to divine its meaning. Janus was conquered, the Xenospirits were exorcised, and the wilderness was subdued. The fields grew until they covered the entire planet, and billions of tons of provisions were harvested there. Janus had become the breadbasket of the Expanse, and to threaten it would be to condemn millions to starvation. Janus became a melting pot for cultures from hundreds of worlds, taking in refugees from across the entire Expanse in its darkest hour. It became a stronghold and a symbol of hope. After the crisis passed, the refugees started to return to their home planets to reclaim the lost worlds, thus earning Janus the proud name, the home of the Reconquista. Despite grim expectations, the coexistence of humans and Aldari did not lead to enmity. Janus had faced many trials, and the struggle against them brought the two peoples together. They did not develop an affection for one another, but they learned to speak with no weapons in their hands. More than one dangerous xenophile schism was born on Janus. The mines of Veabos 6 grew deeper and deeper, and soon the planet became the darkest and most frightening colony on the Expanse. Final stop for the exiled and the damned. The brutal, hardened inhabitants of the Death World feared neither humans nor xeno-horrors, knew no mercy, and were known as the most fearsome fighters in the sector, who traded their lives for the right to leave the eternal darkness of the mines. Guarded, luxurious palaces were built in the climate domes, shrouded by clouds of poison. They housed so many powerful blackguards, persecuted aristocrats, and wealthy scoundrels that Veabos 6 gained unimaginable political influence. Such grand and sinister deeds were done there that long before the grim Death World was spoken of as the new political centre of the Expanse. No longer secluded and forlorn, Falstone turned into a spiritual centre of the Expanse, clad in gold and power. The rulers went there to be anointed for greatness, criminals for penance, and the righteous for encouragement. There was no end to them in sight. Treasures and influence quickly corrupted the supreme hierarchies of Falstone, or hierarchs of Falstone, turning them into a coterie of venal egotists anointed by greed. And as they did dirty deeds under the cover of holy vestments, their power steadily grew. It's hardly surprising that a few years later the hierarchs of Falstone recognized the blood relationship between their patrons, the von Valancius dynasty, and the Saint Cognatius himself. The fate of the pure-voiced prophet, guardian of the hallowed crucible, was a sad one. After visiting 7 worlds and bestowing the blessing of transformation upon them, he perished at the hands of the bloodthirsty Drukhari pirates along with his retinue and the priceless relic. Why does it sound like every one of our worlds has a seedy underbelly? I mean, I guess our background was a crime lord, so it kinda makes sense that what we've turned the Expanse into is a utopia that's really good for crime lords. But it was very unintentional. Anyway. Urlon the Cruel. With the fall of their unholy patron, the Edge of Daybreak, the cult of the Final Dawn perished as well. Every cell of the cult was hunted down and eliminated. Rumours that some worshippers of the ruinous powers had managed to get away, hiding the writings of their warp-banished lord under their robes, were baseless. Left without a mission or a leader, the word-bearers retreated to the depths of the Imperium. The last act of vengeance was a bloody assault on Footfall. The populace of several asteroids was exterminated or enslaved, and the statue of the God Emperor was badly damaged. After recovering from Chorda's regime, Footfall reclaimed its status as the trading hub of the Expanse. Having learned a bitter lesson, Fladame Tokara created the Footfall Partizans Militia, a well-equipped mercenary unit that answered only to him. A modicum of order returned to the station. The changes that the von Valancius dynasty brought to Footfall endured on the station long after. Poorhouses opened by the order of the rogue trader saved many hungry and homeless from death. Unfortunately, this disrupted the station's delicate ecosystem. No longer freezing to death in empty compartments or tormented by epidemics, those who lived in poverty on football began to choke the station, leading to a sharp rise in crime. Organ traders, legal augmetic specialists, and savage gangs of Anver proliferated. Okay, I'm just gonna say again, it's a very nice place. You know, we put in nice things, we fed people, we made sure that, you know, there was no homeless or hungry, and then it's like, yeah, and that led to crime. Again, we've created the utopia of the crime lord. Left without a sun, the Rycad system ceased to exist. Its now frigid planet spun away into the darkness, no longer held by the gravitational pull of their star. A century later, a fragment of Rycad Minoris entered the Furibundus system and was snared by void miners. A piece of its rock was delivered to Footfall with reverence and used in the restoration of the God Emperor statue as a final memorial to the world devoured by corruption. The fact that this is here implies that there is a way that the Rycad system might not have lost its sun? That doesn't seem possible. Maybe it is. Rumours of the rotting remains of an Aldari craft world spread across the expanse. Explorators, privateers, Caspalica agents, and anyone hungry for easy money all rushed to frontier systems to vie for a piece of the prize. Some were swallowed by the warp, while others perished in the skirmishes with their rivals. The most skilled and fortunate returned empty-handed after decades of searching. The colossal ship, as big as an Imperial world, simply vanished as if it had never existed. The legend of the forbidden treasure lived on and continued to bring daring souls to ruin. Aldari from the fallen craft world Krudarak, who once travelled through the darkness of the expanse in a desperate attempt to gather the remains of their kind, were becoming a rarer sight. Even the most skillful Caspalica agents and audacious bounty hunters with knowledge of Xenos settlements on the edges of the expanse could no longer find their trail. Squads of Aldari Rangers suddenly appeared on different worlds and disappeared abruptly without shedding a drop of blood. Their purpose remained an enigma. The news of Xenos appearing in the expanse was followed by a report from the agri-world Yanis about a strange flash in the night sky. The light disappeared, authorities sent out patrols that located a Xenos camp among ancient ruins. The trail ended near a white monument, a webway gate. Where this path led the Aldari, only their farseers know. Okay, so they were all basically making their way to Yanis to go through the webway and end up somewhere else. Time spent on the same world as the monkey pushed the farseer Moran towards reflection. When the webway gate awoke on Yanis and squads of Aldari Rangers stepped onto their ancestors' world, he averted a bloodbath. Granting the Lilithan and its new and naive citizens his blessing, he disappeared through a shining portal, departing for a new home. The spirit monolith, purified by the Harlequin troop on the Crone world, was hidden from the insatiable eyes of the monkey by raging warp storms. Ships started going missing more frequently in the systems close to the planet, and even the most courageous captains gave the region a wide berth, and it was named the Damned Reefs. Okay. Next, I'm just going to take a quick drink. Right. Somewhere on the underside of reality lay Komorag, woven from manifold other dimensions and illuminated, as always, with the life of stolen suns, its streets ever filled with screams and agony. Any misfortune experienced by the Dark City became another scar on its appalling face, lost among thousands of other vile blemishes. As long as pain pulsed in its blood-soaked spires, the insatiable and unshakable Komorag continued its flight through the webway, along with its unchanging ruler, the leader of the Cabal of the Black Heart and the most dangerous of all Drukhari, Asdrubal Vect. The fall of the Cabal of the Raving Tempest united Komorag for a brief and bloody moment. The elites of the Dark City set their squabbles aside and found a new game in tearing apart the domain of Archon Irimeris. The fate of the Raving Tempest reminded the other Cabals that nothing lasts forever in the Dark City save the city itself. Leaving the Necron systems behind, the Star God vengefully obliterated every tomb world of the ancient Xenos race. The old hatred of the Catan, betrayed by their deathless servants, whispered inside him. The voice of Voxmaster Vigdis Suri Ota of the Ptoleman dynasty has long resounded in the Expanse, bringing hope and triumph and trumpeting the arrival of the merciful rogue trader. Known for her wisdom and acute understanding of ship systems, over her long life she taught many generations of future Voxmasters from the Ptoleman dynasty. Her voice was built into the bridge itself, and in times of need her voice flowed through the Vox, dispelling delusions and despair. After years of dedicated service, Master Helmsman Revor was granted, despite his objections, the privilege of rest. The wise servants of the Omnissiah implanted an augment into his brain that restored his ability to sleep. Soon afterwards, something unprecedented happened aboard the ship. The Master Helmsman overslept and missed the start of his watch, but his temper did become much more agreeable from then on. I would imagine so. Many years later, High Factotum Yanris Danrock sought permission to retire. He said that age had softened his heart and that a more worthy, young and assertive successor should take over his position. There was no shortage of candidates. Under all that fat, Danrock had a sentimental heart. He spared nothing for the orphans of those who had died serving the rogue trader. The children were given an excellent education and were eager to serve the von Valancius dynasty. So I'm assuming that these change depending on the route you take as well, because he's like, I'm nice to orphans. I bet if you were heretical it would be like, I murdered the orphans. You know, something like that. Urban Drivestem cared more about preserving the influence of his line than the well-being of the Protectorate. His blind ambition lost him the governor's seat and the respect of his family. Within generations, one of the largest houses of Dargonis turned into an obscure family of petty aristocrats. Turina Gaprak missed the moment when her family, which had previously functioned like a well-oiled machine, started to fall apart, racked by infighting. Among her distant relatives, many blamed Toriana for the Kiavagama disaster. Soon the Gaprak family splintered into warring factions and spent centuries locked in a violent struggle only occasionally punctuated by futile attempts to reunite the house. Macaria Sauerback was loyal to the rogue trader to the last, despite all the rumours to the contrary. Finding little affection among his subjects or family, he stayed true to himself, remained a forthright, severe and pious person. Macarius strived to ensure that every soul in his charge felt justifiable dread before both him and the God Emperor. Members of House Versarian served the dynasty faithfully and loyally. Also, this is the first of our companions, epilogues, which is the bit that I'm really interested in. The world is cool. We know we're a heretical utopia with a seedy underbelly, but what are our companions doing? Members of House Versarian served the dynasty faithfully and loyally, amassing more and more power. A century later, they had finally gained respect enjoyed by other noble houses, yet power and luxury can dull any blade. Now pampered and idle aristocrats were scarcely recognizable as the descendants of the formidable Seneschal Versarian. Oh no! Clementia Versarian, granddaughter of Abelard and Chancellor of Dargonis, executed her duties irreproachably, and even found time to school the younger generations of her family. She was an equally skilled mentor, chancellor, and political operative. After a century of immaculate service, she surprised everyone by leaving her position and becoming first mate on a trade ship. She would later admit, like a true Versarian, that she had a passion for ships and voyage-faring. Branches of House Gaprak and Versarian became intertwined for a time after the marriage of Astartia and Vicent. To the great sadness of the couple and the great amusement of the spiteful Dargonis nobility, their marriage produced no children. Just like her ancestors, Astartia Versarian Gaprak dedicated her life to service. Crushed by events that shook the stability of his house and his inability to produce an heir, Vicent lived in his wife's shadow. When his time came, he passed away without notice. And that was Abelard's ending. Okay. The Harlequin known as Nocturne of Oblivion visited the Expanse once again. Sneaking into Dargonis, he came to the rogue trader's palace and left him a special gift. A case of Aldari crafting, unmistakably ancient and precious, adorned with the rune of an eye inside of a triangle. Only the Lord Captain knew what it contained. The Harlequin candidly warned him that he was drawing the von Valancius dynasty into a deadly dance, a shaking doom, and that all will freeze within the threads of the terror's loom. He then promptly departed, and not without reason. A few hours later, assassins from the Dark City appeared, following his trail, and were mercilessly killed. Their armor bore the signs of the Cabal of the Black Heart. Okay. After months of searching, the Dargonus Wardens found the remains of Achilles Scalander on the lowest levels of the Hive. Drukhari artifacts and records discovered beside him indicated that the agent of the Inquisition had been compromised and was working for the Xenos. I am shocked. Arazai confirmed the guilt of the deceased Inquisition agent and described in detail the torture he inflicted upon the poor soul who had gained his obedience and loyalty. He also confirmed that Erliet had found and killed his monkey toy. Yet few chose to believe the words of the cursed Xenos, and thus the secret of the death of Achilles Scalander was never publicly known. Oh, now we've got Abelard's back ending. Okay. I guess these are where they intertwine with the natural other endings. Abelard Versarion remained the Lord Captain Seneschal and right hand until his dying breath. House Versarion, cleared of accusations of mutiny, dedicated itself to Dargonus' fleet. When, years later, Abelard left this world, the worthiest successor of his family received the honour of inheriting the high office of Seneschal. Nice. Abelard's shining memory was blighted only by rumours of a creeping madness in the twilight of his life. Many said that they had seen the esteemed Seneschal talking to someone unseen in a voice filled with unusual tenderness and sorrow. Which we saw when we were in Comorak. Yeah. Okay. After the battle on Epitaph, Argenta was firmly set on the path of a sister Repentia. Her former fervour and zeal gave way to grim, cold resignation. She longed for death, yet death seemed to flee before the former companion of the Lord Captain. Or perhaps she could not find a worthy opponent. So things carried on until one day, while fighting heretics on an uncharted world, Argenta threw herself into a massive inferno to strike down a horrendous warp spawn. Her comrades saw only shadows in the fire and heard the beast's dying bellow. The flames burned for several days. When they finally subsided, Argenta's body was found among the charred rubble, lifeless but untouched by the fire. In one hand she held her chainsword, in the other a shard of a golden aquila that she had always kept close ever since arriving in the Expanse. I feel we didn't get her best ending. Once known for her passionate nature, and after a meeting with the Lord Captain, Jai firmly refused to share her favour with all others who sought it. After many adversaries they had braved together, her heart belonged to the rogue trader. Decades later, a glorious ship was built on Kiava Gamma, which became the new flagship of House von Valancius. The proud vessel was named the Lady Jai. The Mercatum Tabula Officiale unlocked a sea of possibilities for Jai Hadari. She left the Casbalika mission and became an independent agent, choosing one's destiny as a unique gift that ordinary mortals would never dare dream of. But Jai was no ordinary mortal. She found new friends, skillfully danced along the knife's edge between trade and piracy, stole from the strong, granted mercy to the weak, and even bought a couple of modest planets, and she never ever betrayed herself. Half a century later, her life was tragically cut short. A weak and little-known rogue trader dynasty led by a young and ambitious leader ambushed and captured Jai Hadari in order to appropriate her wealth. The von Valancius fleet strike was lightning fast, but Mistress Hadari could not be saved. She died in the hands of her various captors. I kind of feel like if she was to going out, being caught by another ambitious person, that's just the way it went in the world that she entered, right? Each one, she took down the person who, the person who previously held her position, and now someone's taking down her and someone will take down them. Heinrich van Kalox, the former interrogator of the Ordo Xenos, took the mantle of Lord Inquisitor after his mentor's death. Receiving both the Inquisitor's rosette and the duty of defending the sector from the enemies of humanity, van Kalox became the new warden of the Koronus Expanse. Van Kalox declared a relentless war against the enemies of humanity, be they Xenos, servants of chaos, or heretics in the Imperium's own ranks. The Inquisitor fearlessly eliminated numerous nests of corruption in the Expanse. What about the corruption in the von Valancius dynasty of the Sky Gods? You got anything going on there? A few decades later, he was assassinated by a criminal cartel. Oh my god, all of our party members are being murdered by criminal cartels that we set up. Some say the Caspili Commission, sick of the unrelenting servant of the law, was involved in the Inquisitor's killing. You can't die, Cassia, right? You're good. In all her journeys with the rogue trader, Cassia Orselio experienced all the hardships and delights of the galaxy. The invaluable experience and new knowledge helped her finally conquer her fears and accept herself and her powers. The Lady Navigator became Novator of her house, tasked with addressing the consequences of Tisophone's rule and the chaos that followed her disappearance. For the duration of her reign, she patiently worked on uniting the feuding branches of the house, forging alliances and expanding on the influence of House Orselio. See, nothing bad happened. The Starway Atlas, which contained the memories of Tisophone and the Sithala clan, lost its power. House Orselio's navigators once again had to rely on skill alone in the depths of the Imperium. Many lost their lives, but those who survived the crisis became hardened veterans and pillars of the house. Most of those fortunate souls were young and brave, and too few among them were old and wise. See, she lived. Great, no problem. Adira! Adira Talas lived several more years after the Rogue Trader's grand campaign on Epitaph. Despite her short life, she left behind many legends and tales of her adventures in the Lord Captain's service and of the terrible warp phenomena she manifested. Shortly before her death, Adira vanished from her post. Jai disappeared with her. Jai returned many cycles later. She declared Adira's last days had been full of joy and adventure, that her greatest pleasure had been watching the Void Whales play. Nice. Having revealed himself as the renewed messiah of discontinuing, Pascal Hanneman caused great turmoil. Free from his vows of service, he did not burden himself with leadership over the fleet. He took just one combat squadron and retreated with his flock to remote sectors for contemplation. Decades later, ships were spotted among the heretics of the Cauldron, a sector touched by corruption. Their tank crews revered the Omnissiah, but his image was haunting. No one dared depict the Deus Mechanicus in this manner before, adorned with sinister flesh-embedded lumens and golden mech armor and crowned with clawed wings. The Omnissiah chose a grim and belligerent likeness in which to appear before his unrighteous Messiah. The unit bearing the name Abel Hanneman did not follow Pascal. No longer needed by his ambitious comrade, he was discarded and left behind. While en route to station Altar Templar Calixus Extension 17, Abel was captured by pirates and forced to toil as a technomat. The day the Imperial Navy destroyed his pirate ship prison marked the end of his silent torment. Oh, well that's just upsetting. For many years, Erliette travelled at the rogue trader's side, helping him decipher the secrets of lost Xenos races and lending him the wisdom of her kind. Half a century later, she sensed that it was time to say goodbye. The path of the outcast would come to an end. After bidding farewell to her Ellen Tak, Erliette made her way to her surviving kin. Erliette followed a new path, the path of a warrior. She only hoped that she would never be forced to raise her weapon against the mortals who had become her true brothers and sisters in arms. So she spent 50 years with us after the end of the game. Cool. Rumour has it that Erliette and Pascal met again among the alien stars. A band of Aldari warriors was trying to protect an ancient planetary edifice of their people from the covetous servants of the Omnissiah. Upon learning that Erliette was leading the Xenos, Pascal personally descended to the planet and struck down his former comrade in arms. Oh my god, no. Her death did not stir any feelings in his metallic heart. So we kept Pascal, and Pascal murdered Erliette. Fantastic. Okay, right, that's another one for the death list. That one's our fault. I bet if we had made Amornat, he probably wouldn't have killed Erliette, or if we had... Yeah, anyway. Arazai, you must have fun. Marazai Aziriesh, also known as Tempest Doom, spent several years with the rogue trader, filling the entire crew with terror. However, with time his restless and ambitious nature got the better of him. Having grown weary of the company of Monkey, the Drukhari left the ship. Soon after, the Koronus Expanse saw a rise of a new mercenary group, a motley army of humans and Xenos led by a bloodthirsty and ruthless Drukhari leader. Oh, I wonder what happened to them. Years later, Marazai's name resounded through the Expanse once more. His gang had intercepted a Startia Versarian ship. Her head was delivered to Abelard with a note informing him it was a gift from an old acquaintance in remembrance of a glorious past. Abelard's grief sent him on a 6-year hunt for the despicable Xenos, which sadly was unsuccessful. Okay, so we might have killed Abelard's niece. That's not ideal, I would say. I would say that that would probably be our fault. I think that that's fair to put that one on us. Okay, Ulfar, you gotta have a happy ending. You're in Astartes, and you curse to not die. You literally can't, right? After joining the Stormbiters, Ulfar Thunderlung soon became the pack leader, taking the place of Thorvald, who met an honorable end. That kind of makes it sound like he met an honorable end at the end of Ulfar's axe, but anyway. The new leader sent a message to Fenris stating his intention to remain in the Expanse. There were too many enemies yet lurking in these hunting grounds that deserved the Allfather's wrath. Legends paved the formidable pack's path in gold. Years later, Ulfar found a battle in which he could meet his honourable death, but the warp was suddenly torn asunder, and chips from Fenris bearing the mark of the wolf head came to his aid. Saved from the battlefield by his loyal companion Halbrand, Ulfar accepted the honours of the Dreadnought and was entombed in sacred armour. During the blessed ritual, he cursed and demanded to be left to his death, but his brothers merely answered with mirthful laughter. When he recovered his senses, Ulfar led his forces to the heathen stars. The Allfather had given him a new mission in a near-death vision. No one in the Expanse has heard word of the Space Wolves since their departure, and yet many believe that one day they will return victorious. It just saved. Okay. That must be the last one then. Have we've gone through everyone? Such was the echo of the deeds of the rogue trader of House von Valancius, deeds that transformed the Koronus Expanse and prepared it for events even darker and more violent. But those are the events of a different story. This one has come to an end. The end. And with that, we have finished Rogue Trader. I'm just processing what we did at the end there. The epilogue was very good, I gotta say. To start with, the epilogue was fantastic. It gave us pretty much every ending. It showed the results of our choices. Obviously, our last choice made quite a difference, and I suspect that had we chosen just a minorly different one, pretty much the entirety of the epilogue would have been different. There would have been less heresy, there would have been less all of that sort of stuff. Okay, fair enough. Wasn't my intention necessarily with No Moss to create a new heresy, but the world that we created does sound like something our character would do. So that's fine. The ending part was it was interesting. I liked it. The bit where we met the other routes was definitely a bit meta. It didn't really make any sense within the story. Like, obviously there was some reality weirdness going on here, but it was like, you know, it was there because they wanted to be meta with the different routes, which was fun. The ending fight was interesting, as in the last two fights, you got pretty much everything that you could want in the last couple of fights. You got, first of all, the fight against your copies, you got them using your abilities. Then you got swarms of enemies with one powerful enemy. Then you got one mega boss at the end, which was, you know, powered up and like had lots of interesting mechanics. That was cool. It also lasted long enough that you had time to build up. Like, for instance, Jai, who had been useless in damage up until that point in the game, suddenly had enough turns to scale. And then, like, her last shot was doing 800 damage for just a basic shot. That's fantastic. That's the kind of fights that I feel the game needed more of. I think the problem with the system in the game is that a lot of the mechanics seem like they're things that scale, right? Like, there's lots of, you hit a certain number of attacks and it raises your damage, and it raises this, and it raises that, and it raises this, and it raises that. But a lot of the time, the fights are like one-round fights. And in one round, you don't get to explore all of the cool stuff that you've got. I think really what we needed was I don't know, I almost feel like you just needed to raise the health of everything by like 100. I don't know. I don't know how it's meant to be played in the tabletop version. I mean, I assume you don't get to level 60 very often in the tabletop version. You probably play around the level 10 to 20 range or something, which is like where it's balanced for, which makes sense. But yeah, it was interesting. I liked the combat system. I just felt like, even at the end, I was thinking, do I turn up the difficulty to make it more difficult for the ending? And I was kind of like, no, I don't think that it's actually the difficulty is the problem. I think the problem is the system is encouraging us to break it, which is cool, but once you've broken it, you're kind of there. I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting. I guess if we tried a different build, we could see others, you know, see what we want to do with it. But, yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else. Obviously, our build didn't work. Our initial build was terrible. The Grand Strategist build that we went for at the end, though, very cool. I liked it. I also feel like we should have gone very heavily into skills earlier, as in to try and boost up all of our skills and basically ignore all the skills from our allies to a degree, or basically boost one skill for an ally the whole time. But yeah, it was just the way that things were there. Think of what else was there. In terms of the story structure, I don't know. I feel like I was trying to rate this game in Owlcat Games because I knew that we're getting near the end, and I was like, I wonder where it is. So for me, I think that this one is either they've done 3 games so far. They've done Kingmaker, they've done Wrath of the Righteous, and they've done this game, Rogue Trader. I feel like Wrath of the Righteous is a better game in terms of structure. I feel like the game is more structured and makes more sense, right? I feel like from start to finish, that game was well put together in terms of structure. Like, obviously there's bugs and things don't quite make sense in some ways because of that, but I felt in terms of structure, it was the most coherent story, and it also like felt like one story from the start to the end, right? Both Kingmaker and this game have another issue, where it's kind of their first game in a system. And what they did in both of them is I realized they did the exact same thing. What they did is they made a story that didn't make a lot of sense until the end, right? It didn't make a lot of sense until they showed you all the pieces and they put it together, right? And then what they did is, in between that, they put in every single thing they wanted to use from that system because they didn't know if there was going to be another game. That's how it felt to me. Like, you're fighting a Necron, you're fighting some Tyrannid, you're fighting some Chaos, you're fighting a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. In Pathfinder, it was like, you know, you got trolls this time. Oh, now you got plants, now you got some Fae. Now you got, you know, some Minotaur or something, right? Like, it was kind of a little bit jumping around because they were trying to show you a lot of different stuff, which it makes sense. But what Wrath of the Righteous did differently is it was like, okay, well, actually, for this game, you're going to be fighting demons, but we're going to go detailed on demons. We're going to give you different types of demons. You're going to face maybe the same one again and again, but we're going to mix up how the encounters work. We're going to make it so that you are encouraged to specialize into dealing with this type of encounter because that's what we're giving you, right? And I felt like that made a better experience as you went on. Like, for instance, when we were leveling here, I think I said it in the final episodes. I actually don't know if I'm going to put this out as 1 or 2. It's ended up being like, well, by the time this finishes, it's going to be like 5 hours almost, so I might put it out as 2 with just a hard cut in the middle that doesn't make a lot of sense, but anyway, we'll figure it out. But yeah, we had a ton of abilities talking about psychic damage to us, right? Like enemies that use psychic abilities to us. I don't know if you noticed, there were like 3. there was basically none in the game until right at the very end, and then we just killed them, and that was it. Right? There was only like, there wasn't like we're facing armies of psychers. It was just like there was a lot of abilities that were like, hey, if you're going to face warp damage, you want this. Now, I say that without the context of the other routes. It could be that if you went down the dogmatic route, you're facing a lot more chaos, and then you're facing a lot more psychers there and warp damage there. It could be that if you went down the chaos route, you're facing a lot more of the other factions of chaos, so maybe you're facing more demons and then you're getting more of that stuff, right? It could be that sort of thing. Obviously the demons also did damage, but with warp damage, but yeah, only if they actually hit you. They weren't really that threatening apart from the edge of daybreak anyway. You get what I'm saying? It felt a little bit unfocused. And in terms of the story, I do genuinely think that they put those NPCs in at the end to basically be like, okay, we know the story's got a little bit out of hand. We haven't quite got it so that everyone who's playtesting it knows what's happening when they get to the end. Let's put in a couple of, you know, NPCs at the end who are basically just going to explain the story to you. Once they explained it, it makes a lot of sense, right? But it's kind of a problem if you need to put someone at the end to say, this is how things work. Now, having said all that, I do quite like the game. I thought it was a really good game, and I think that it'll be interesting to see what they do next with this. Also, special thanks to the team at Games Workshop. I'm wondering whether they're going to do a different Games Workshop system. I mean, like, what could they do? They could do, they could, what's it, the other one? Dark Heresy or something? Which is, from my memory, is a similar system. They could do something like that. That would be kind of interesting. If, like, their way forward with Rogue Trader is to go, okay, we're going to choose another system within the Games Workshop tabletop systems. It's going to be similar enough that they can reuse some stuff, but it's going to be a different focus. And I think that could be kind of interesting. I think Rogue Trader, by its nature, is kind of a little bit unfocused as well, because Rogue Trader is kind of like the, yeah, you're in the Imperium, but you're separated from, like, you know, you're above a lot of the normal rules that people have to follow in the Imperium, and it gives you a lot of flexibility, which is obviously really good if you're doing an RPG to have a lot of flexibility. But I'm wondering whether one of the other systems would make it more focused. I don't know. Anyway, I'm basically just, yeah, these are just my raw thoughts about the game as we've finished it, and just trying to think what other things about it that I like. I really like the sections that did, I like the story sections. I think they've really upgraded those since Wrath of the Righteous and Kingmaker. I think they've made them a lot better. The bit sections where it tells you a story and you have to use your abilities, I think those felt a lot better in this game. They felt really, really good to play through, and the artwork with them was incredible, and they were a great way of doing these grand kind of moments without having to do like to do them within the game engine would have been horrible. It would have been, yeah, it would have been just like, it wouldn't have been good. It would have fell flat. I think doing them with the artwork at the side and the descriptions and the music and everything putting together, it made a nice story, and it made it yeah, it made it, it gave you the right vibes of the of what you were doing. By the way, these are all the Kickstarter names, I believe. Is it kickstarted? Yeah, this one was kickstarted. So these are all the Kickstarter names. I am going to press enter to speed up, because there are a lot of Kickstarter names. Mine's in here somewhere. I don't think it's the channel name. I think it's something else. But, yeah. We're going to speed up, because I just realized that we had been in A for about a minute and a half, so... yes, there are quite a lot of them here. But yeah, game was good. Now, in terms of what we're going to do going forward, there is DLC for this game coming out. I do not know the context of the DLC currently. My intention would be to play it. I would like to play it while I still have some knowledge of the system ingrained within me. If it's a DLC where you have to replay the game, that's a little bit of a harder sell. That's a 140-hour DLC. As in, because you'd have to play, well, 150-hour DLC. You have to play the DLC and you have to play the entirety of the game. If it's a DLC where you start off on the main menu and you load your save, yeah, much higher chance we do that. In terms of other things on the channel, we've got a couple of things that we're finishing off CRPG-wise. Baldur's Gate 2, we were working on, and it's been on in extended hiatus. It will probably come back at some point soon-ish. And there is also Pathfinder DLC, which I need to understand about as well. What DLC we can do and what... I think some of its DLC as well is the type I was describing, where you have to play through the whole game again to experience some of it, but I'm not sure. I need to look into the details of that. And then going forward, I have no idea. There's probably going to be a whole lot of DLC for this game at some point. It seems to be that they do like 6 bits of DLC for these games, or 3. They do like 3 a season pass, and if the first season pass does well, they do another 3. And then after that, I'm not entirely sure what comes after all of that. We'll have to see what actually comes out. Obviously, whatever Owlcat put out next, I'm going to play. These are fantastic games. These are things that are not being made as much as I would like them to be, because I would like to play a lot more of these. Although, if they made more of them, I would also not be able to play them, because they are also like 100... Well, how much was this? Like 140 hours for us here? You know what? I'll let these go at normal speed for a second. If I Alt-Tab, does it continue? It does, although it does turn off the music, so I won't Alt-Tab for very long. Okay, so you know I said 140 hours. My playtime is 177 hours, just, you know, for context. So it's like a lot more than 140 hours. But anyway, that's fine. Yeah, so 177 hours. So let's say it's 170 hours with 7 hours of generic, like probably inventory management if I had to guess. But yeah, so it's quite a lot. Right. Think of anything else. The romance was done okay as well. I think it was fine. It was more integrated into the game, I would say, than it felt in the other games. Like the other games, it was definitely there, and there was the romance off to the side, but there was a lot more references to it as we were going through the like ending phases, as we were going through the epilogue, as we were going through conversations with Jai about her companion quest. The romance was brought into it, with us accepting her for who she was. The Comorac section actually is very interesting to talk about. The fact that you took 5 companions in, and they were permanently scarred from that. Like, we took Abelard into that, and it came up in his epilogue, him being scarred by it, right? That is crazy. That's like, you know, because if you had taken a different 5 companions in, you obviously get a different story, a completely different story at the end. Or, well, not completely, you know what I mean, you get a different... Oh, are we at the end? Yes, we are. Okay. You get, yeah. So if you take in a different set of companions, you get a different story at the end, which is crazy. The ship in the background changes, doesn't it, based upon how the story is. So is that our final ship? I think it is. Yeah, because I'm fairly certain the ship in the background changes based on something. Yeah, I don't know if I've seen that exact one before, unless it's the same one as always, in which case I obviously have, but cool. Well, thank you very, very, very much for watching. It was a lot of fun going through this, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. I will see you in whatever happens next. It might be Baldur's Gate 2. It depends on where things line up, and that will probably start up in a couple of weeks, depending on where everything is in a couple of weeks. So, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.